drink with my best friends. Some people say we have a problem, but every night I make a new best friend. And the only problem is we like having a good time.
Hello, love wrestling. It is 8 p.m. It is Thursday night. And you know what that means.
What does it mean? I don't ever know what it means.
It's another episode of Between Two Beards. Hope everyone is having a fine Thursday.
Is that because we have two beards?
I think so.
Our guest usually.
I think that was the shtick.
Is that what it means?
I think so. And tonight we do have a guest tonight who's going to be joining us for the wholeness of the entirety of this episode, who we are going to bring on here. He is a familiar face. He's been on here a whole bunch. He is I feel like he's become our resident football. Whenever we're talking, wherever we're talking some good wrestling and whenever we're talking some good football, we bring this gentleman on. But Crap Game himself, Jeff Hawkins, is here. He's in the back. We're going to bring him on in just a minute. We're going to talk about the week that was in wrestling, and we're going to have a full in-depth Super Bowl preview as well tonight. Our friend Banana King popping in, saying hello. Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Look at the different graphics, Twitter, the whole world.
The whole thing changed, man. Yeah, we can add different things. I'm the only one that used it, so hopefully next week you get on board. Maybe Jeff used it. He's saying maybe. But basically it asked me what my name was, and then it asked me if I had a headline. So I kind of switched it so my name was my name and the headline was my tag. So I'm looking all fancy. We got Big Ben popping in, JPJ and Pluggo. Were legends, according to him. So anyway, Pluggo, before we get Jeff on here.
Headache giver dispenser. I'm on.
There you go. Beauty. Love it. I love it. Before we get Jeff on here and we start diving into this.
Budget blower CEO.
I was going to say, I thought it was going to be something like that.
You put me on the spot. I couldn't think of things. Like I said, this week has been nuts.
You know, some of us come prepared and some of us don't. You know, it is what it is.
You showed up at 7:59.
And look at this. And I was still more prepared than you were. Crazy how that works. How you doing, Pluggo? Good to see you.
I'm all right. I'm good. Like I said, the world is a whole nother place since we left you here on Thursday with Phil. We were talking about how the Nets were putting it.
Literally, we were talking about the New Jersey Nets on this thing.
Jeff Hawkins thoughts.
Oh yeah,
LeBron James is now the scoring king.
I mean, it was inevitable.
Attraction is officially destroyed.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. We're literally talking basketball to end the episode last week with Phil Lindsay, and we're talking about the Nets. And then all of a sudden, within the span of a week, the number 3 seeded Nets trade Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Incredible. What a time. What a time. I am a Boston fan, so I have nothing good to say about Kyrie Irving. Nothing. And I will never say anything good about that man. But holy moly, we got noobs saying, how we doing? How are you doing, friend? But enough of the delay. Let's do the damn thing. Let's get Mr. Jeff Hawkins. Oh, there we go. Crap. Podcast killer.
Podcast killer.
Podcast killer.
On the podcast circuit? Or you
arrive, wreck stuff, leave. That's my gig.
As I called you earlier, our resident NFL expert.
I would say so.
Yeah, NBA I'm not gonna be so good on, but I can fake it. I can fake anything for 30 minutes, so I'm good.
Yeah. How do you feel about the number 3 seed Brooklyn Nets basically blowing up their season?
I think Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden should all have to be forced to be on the same team for eternity, and then the rest of us can move on with our lives. That's what I think.
Oh, well, Big Ben saying I'm a Toronto guy.
I am
Kyrie gets
so done with. Well, I don't like Kyrie because he's a Duke guy, and I'm a Virginia guy.
It's fair.
And that's
I don't
also
like Kyrie because he's a piece of shit.
And I have
that's just me.
And also an anti-Semite, possibly.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, you know,
flat earther, anti-Semite. You know, ruins every team he's on.
Although your Celtics have a soft place in my heart because they got Sam Hauser and Malcolm Brogdon coming off the bench, 2 good UVA guys who I am. So I'm big on that.
We gonna win the championship this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like, do you ever think they just look in the mirror and go, "Hey, is it us?"
Maybe, maybe
because they go from they're always unhappy, they're always demanding trades, and it's like they never have that moment of self. I just remember I decided to go to Twitter to look at reactions about
The
of all
Durant trade?
people Joe Harris
Oh yeah,
of the Brooklyn Nets because
Yeah.
I have a soft spot again Virginia guy.
Yeah.
And
he's
and
been there.
all-
He's been there throughout all of this.
Yeah,
he's been there
and
for a while.
I mean, it's like all the Nets fans are complaining. Why didn't we get rid of all these glue guys instead of getting rid of Durant and Harden and Kyrie? And I'm just like, actually, you know what? It should just be those four, and there should be no other 8 players on the team to help them at all. And then we'll see how happy they are.
Yeah, and they ended up
Because I'm
bringing
just
like
sick of
Spencer Dinwiddie back to the team. Like they got rid of him, and they bring him back. So like now they're a team full of those glue role-playing type
Kyrie
guys.
Irving and
Speaking of
Kevin
glue
Durant were both
guys, Brian
unhappy
called from the
on
house
world
Slugs
champion
here.
teams. World championships were not enough to satisfy people. No,
You
no,
know
no.
the
I'm
funniest
not getting
part-
enough personal stats here for my Hall of Fame case. I
Yeah.
need to go somewhere. Kevin Durant's gonna be unhappy everywhere.
The
Yeah.
funny
Kyrie
part is
Irving's-
all of them asked for this.
Yes,
They all wanted
truly.
to be together.
Yeah, oh, we'll make a super team.
This is what
And then,
they
and then
wanted.
becomes like the group Blind Faith, and it just dissolves.
Yeah, very bizarre. Very bizarre.
I mean, I
All
woke
right.
up. So like, I woke up this morning, right? So like, behind the curtain, Pluggo world. I had like a rough night, so like I chugged along for as much as dynamite as I could. I passed out right around the main event. I woke up to Kevin Durant, a Phoenix Sun, and
Yep.
the Ass Boys as tag team champions. What the hell happened after I went
have
to
a-
bed at 9:45 last night? I couldn't make it any longer.
When I was
What?
big in the NBA, I was a Phoenix Suns fan, so and my parents still watch the games because they're in Scottsdale. But it's like one of those things where it's like, it's not the same without Barkley and Chambers and
I was
Kevin
gonna say,
Johnson for
Yeah,
me.
Barkley,
you know?
Kevin Johnson, KJ. Ooh, all right, that's a throw.
Smooth's
Harley.
in the house.
We got Smooth in the house saying, "Hey guys," he's saying, "Go KD." I mean, again, I don't have a problem with KD. It is what it is. I got a problem with Kyrie Irving.
Oh yeah,
I got a problem with him, and that's just
At
a
least-
straight up Boston sports bias.
Mhm.
Dude was
say
in
ass.
our
I
sold out arena on national television.
Brian back in the fold.
Yeah, on our national
I
television,
sure
on our
did
national
have,
TV
guy.
shows, telling us that he was going to sign a long-term deal with us, and then by the end of that season, it was everybody hates me. I can't stay here. Nobody likes me. Nobody wants me here. I gotta go. Blah 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 blah. Fuck yourself.
Can I
That's
troll
what
the
I said.
Canadians real quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we stop with the we need to belt Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber talk, please?
Well, we're gonna dive. Yeah, I do
No,
want to
no.
talk about
It's
this.
madness.
At least, yes, we'll talk about that. But I wanted to say, at least your team didn't trade for a guy that shit all over your franchise at a podcast.
Wait, what happened there? You're a
The
Houston Rockets
the
fan.
Rockets got John Wall back. Now, granted, I think they're going to buy him out, and he's going to go wherever he wants.
Yeah.
But that dude scored.
That dude's been a malcontent everywhere too. I'm
But
tired.
they-
of
and
John
that,
Wall.
I guess those are the type of players in all leagues. Those are the
But
type
he-
of players that I have no time for.
Like,
Like,
2 weeks
bro,
ago.
what's
he's
the common
on air.
denominator here? It's you. You
And-
go everywhere, and everywhere's the problem. Well, guess what? It
Yeah.
might be fucking you, buddy.
Yeah,
It might be you.
You need to because I had to separate this for a while because again, as a Bengals fan, we had the worst franchise in football, so everybody would complain about it. You'd always be like, "No, screw you," but then you go, "Nah." Corey Dillon had kind of a point.
Yeah.
Carl
Like,
Pickens had kind of a point. You know, that kind of thing.
at some point, and it's not always easy, but at some point you got to look in the mirror and you have to understand that, hey, you know, maybe it's not everybody else is why I'm having all these
Yeah.
problems. Maybe it has something to do with me.
We
You
got
know?
some people in the chat's ears burning. Have guys saying, "Does somebody say ass boys?" Big saying, "The fuck did I just hear about Sami Zayn?" Yes, Smooth. I was in your chat. Good stuff, buddy. He streams too. Streams some games.
Oh yeah,
Check
for sure.
him out on Twitter,
All right.
Twitch, Twitter,
Well,
whatever. We're on
Where
Twitch
are
right
we gonna?
now.
I mean, obviously we're gonna have a full on Super Bowl preview
We
later
can
on
talk
to end
about
the
this
show.
Sammy stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I want to talk about some Dynamite that happened last night because I thought that was a truly and spectacular television show that was on last night. I thought it was very, very good. The ending left some people sour, which I get to an extent, but I actually kind of liked it.
Some people. don't
I
think
didn't
any-
mind it. I didn't
don't
mind
think
it. But we
anybody was
can
happy.
dive in. I know people. Are you not supposed to boo the ass
People
boys winning
hate
the tag titles
I don't
shittily?
get it. I just
Like what? I missed the concept of where like heels do heelish things and win titles, and everyone's
Yes.
like, this sucks. It's like, it's supposed to suck. You're supposed to be upset
This isn't
that they won the tag
wrestling
titles.
that I would book. Well, of course not, because you'd book everybody to have a trophy and
Yeah,
Can
I
I-
just don't on some of the mindset. I feel like everybody nowadays individually watches wrestling shows with the mindset that they're booking this for me.
I think
Or-
we just.
no,
I
or
think
they-
it's because. I think it's because we absolutely love the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed is insanely over. Scissor me, daddy.
well, no, I
That-
think
What's
it's,
that for a YouTube short, Zach? Scissor me, daddy.
Yeah, there we go.
Everybody
Ben
wants
saying
to
that
have-
ass
everybody
boy's got
wants-
that X-Pac heat.
Yeah,
You get
it's-
that X-Pac heat.
it's that weird mix of everybody wanting the happy ending, but also everybody being kind of tired of when WWE would just do heat
Mhm.
type of
Mhm.
things. And really, I mean, look,
That guy fucking loved it. He
the
said.
wrestling of my youth was always about the heat spot. So it's one of those things I'm kind of used to it a little
Yeah.
bit.
You're saying don't include me in
Don't
that
put
week.
that evil
I know.
on
Yeah,
him.
I get it. And I
All
think
right, so
that's
where do you
true
wanna
what you're
start?
saying, Jeff. I feel like
Oh.
we've
I
been
think this is
conditioned.
where we're starting.
We've been conditioned as wrestling fans because 20 years there was one ball game in town here.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. Heat just to get heat. Oh, the heat, brother. The heat. Like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So we were just so conditioned that this is just how it goes. Like, this is just how it goes. So when you see something that happened last night, like, the point was that we were all supposed to be sour that the Ass Boys won the title.
If they think this was bad, wait until Billy Gunn turns heel next week.
That's what I'm saying. Next week or at Revolution, whenever
Yeah.
the rematch
Yeah,
happens,
when the rematch
and Billy
happens.
Gunn actually, which I thought was going to happen last night, but when Billy Gunn actually turns heel and now helps the Guns
Because he's proud of his
retain
boys for
because
what
he's
they
proud
did,
that they
yeah.
stepped up to him and did what they had to do to win the title, whatever. People are going to be fucking crying as it's just like, this is what sometimes in wrestling and sometimes in life, the bad guys fucking win.
I'll
Get
say
it?
This, I'll say this as
You
well.
know, like,
I was
Empire
thinking about,
Strikes Back is the best of the Star Wars films, and the bad guys win.
Bloody-
yeah, like sometimes the bad guys win, guys. Like it happens.
You need
it
it for
happens.
the story. You need it for the story.
Yes, you do. It makes the good
No.
guys winning down the line sweeter. That's what it's for. Anyway.
Have
Why
guys
the
says people
Patriots
get
winning
upset.
was always somewhat
when
good.
stuff is
that was the best. It
predictable.
was the best times, Jeff.
Yeah.
Bad guys win.
Yeah.
Oh, when
See, we
something
did that
unexpected
for you.
happens, people get upset. Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what Have Guy says. People
what
get
I
upset
think.
when the stuff is predictable, but when something unexpected happens, people get upset.
Yes.
Go figure.
Wrestling,
You know?
nobody hates professional wrestling more than wrestling fans. I'll say this. I'll say this. AEW has the benefit of the doubt so far with me that I think they're going to tell a good story, so I'm not worried about the decision. Yes, we all love the Acclaimed. Even if, let's say, they were just doing the heat for the sake of heat move, AEW can't always hit. Sometimes you got to miss. So if this was a miss, so be it. But they have shown in the past their ability to either make it make sense or right the wrong, so to speak. So I'm interested to see where it plays out. We still got the Billy Gunn, like you said, he could turn heel. I'm looking forward to that. There's still meat on the proverbial bone, so to speak.
Yeah,
with this.
big
So
time.
So let's not jump off. But again, it's just because it's a super beloved tag team, organic. Everybody loves them, and they just didn't have it last night. So I guess we'll. And I'll ask you two this. I did want to ask you this. I've noticed a trend, maybe the last 3 weeks or so. Is it just me, or is AEW? And I'm not this isn't a negative, but has it become increasingly more it feels like a more physical 2 hours of television the last 3 to 4 weeks.
I just think that's because of Bryan Danielson.
There is some ass beatings going
yeah.
on this program.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd agree. It's just
Yeah.
it's for me. I think they're trying to differentiate themselves in that way. It's just the things that aren't working is the fact that they don't know how to build a feud in AEW worth a damn.
Mhm.
I mean, and that's done mostly with your mouth, and that's where the lack of people who can cut promos in AEW is a real issue for me, at least.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. I feel like right now, currently, especially, and we're going to talk about Bryan Danielson here because yesterday was 7 years to the day that he had to retire on WWE television, and then he went out and had one of the better matches in Dynamite history with Roosh, where they were destroying each other. And you want to talk about physicalness, they were obviously he was busted open and stuff like that and things like that, but they were physical, slapping the shit out of each other. Like just, man, it was a clinic between those two guys. And me, I'm going to be full transparency. I have not seen much of Roosh other than what I've seen on AEW. So for me, this was by far his best showing, without question. And Danielson's just been on a run, just a run, like a special run of what he's doing. And now we're going to see him in a 60-minute Iron Man match with MJF, which MJF will beat him, and that will be fine. But I thought that match last night was good. Like
I
really,
want
really
more
good.
out of Danielson from the non-wrestling perspective, though.
I would agree with
this
that.
MJF thing, and it seems like he has no interest in that and has had no interest in that since coming into AEW. It's just I want to have great matches, but I don't want to be a star. And you're just kind of looking at him going, you're Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, like you are a star. You are the star.
Yeah.
Buy in and help this feud a little bit other than I'm a great wrestler. Look, I get that could be a basis for a feud. Don't get me wrong. I just want him in on this verbal build a little bit for the pay-per-view type of a thing versus getting half-assed trapped in a medical room last night.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, MJF had some shit to say yesterday.
well, he was on like 3 times last night. Which
He was
I actually-
littered throughout the show.
I defended because like Crockett used to do that all the time where Dusty or Ric Flair would cut like 2 promos in the course of a 605 show or something like that. So I was fine with that. Everybody's like, he's still on too much. No, give me the champ twice.
Yeah, he's the champ. He should be on the show. But I do agree. And like, obviously, I think what do we have? We have 3 Dynamites now until we get to Revolution. And last night was the last match that solidified that the Iron Man match is happening. So I'm hoping over the next 3 weeks, obviously, I'm assuming they're doing that to give Bryan some rest here because he's been having fucking physical bangers for 5-6 weeks straight now, every week, just going crazy here. So I assume it'll be to give him some rest, but I would like to see, like Jeff said, the character side of Bryan Danielson over the next 3 weeks. Cut some promos, go back and forth with MJF. Like, let people know that, like, you're not just here to have great matches, that you're here because you want to be the top guy. Like, you want to be the champion. So I'm hoping over the next couple weeks. Well, that's the problem, is do we know? You know?
But I mean, I don't think anybody expects him to win at Revolution. I don't think there's a single person. He's Bryan fucking Danielson. And I have 0.0% chance that he wins.
I agree.
Maybe 0.1.
I agree. And then this just comes to, and look at,
What's that look, Jeff? You think he's gonna
night-
win?
No, I don't.
Okay.
no.
Sorry, I was reading my phone because it's like
I thought
man
you were
armed-
like, I was like, what the hell?
no, it's their man armed with gun, 0.1 mile away from you. I was like, oh,
Oh, great.
that's
Love
kind of a
that.
thing. Gotta love
Beauty.
Los Angeles.
If Jeff is
Man
off-
pushing
Jeff
a
goes
wheelchair.
off-
That's how, but he has a gun too, and you're just kind of like, that's kind of on brand.
That's interesting.
No, look, all of this is to make MJF a more credible champion, so I'm fine with that. And I think also the match last night did that in some ways. I actually enjoy watching MJF as a base for other people. Is he the greatest technical wrestler in the world? No, but he's a great heel seller wrestler for a baby face, and that's what I really enjoyed last night about the Takeshita.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I was going to lead right into that. They had a very good match to open the show, which I think, last night, MJF has been a day one AEW competitor. And last night was the 19th time that we saw him wrestle.
Get them.
So he's been there since day one. And the match that he has in a couple weeks at Revolution with Daniel Bryan will be the 20th match in his AEW tenure. And I think that, again, goes perfectly well into his character because when he wrestles, it's a big deal because he does not wrestle often.
Yeah.
And then also when he wrestles and commentary, Excalibur, Taz, and Shivani did a great job last night of saying, as much as we hate this guy, every time he wrestles, he shuts us up. and he proves to everyone that he can go and he can handle his own, and he usually makes it work, you know?
I like the world champion being a special attraction.
100%.
I think part of what hurt Moxley this last time as champion was he was on every week, wrestling a match, bleeding for no reason, that kind of a thing. And well, I like Moxley matches. It was like one of those things where it's like absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also a little bit very old school where it was rare to see the champion wrestle on
You didn't
TV.
see Hogan on
or
wrestling
even
every
Flair
week.
for the most part.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a special attraction. So I dig that.
I
Yeah,
think with
I do
the
too.
Mox run, though, the last run, I feel like they were trying really hard to beat it over our head that the interim title didn't matter. And then when they finally just gave it to him, they were like, we've got to prove that our world champion matters, to try to like mask the CM Punk thing. But you're absolutely right. I mean, MJF, I'm cool with it. I love
it.
Takeshita. I'm in love
Guy,
with that man. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
He's a main eventer, future main eventer. That match served two purposes. It served the purpose of continuing how MJF always gets the job done, even though we all hate him. And it showed that Takeshita belongs in that top of the card main event world championship picture, because he held his own and he brought MJF to the brink of defeat a few times. And MJF had to struggle to get out of that match and pull off the victory. And I think that's what that match was for, to elevate Takeshita even more, because he's been super over and gets more over every time we see him. And then it also, like Jeff said, it proved the point of like MJF and the way he sells in his matches and makes it look like. And I'll let you go, Jeff. I know you want to say something.
No, but it reminds me of another point I made. I do a Dynamite show afterwards on another network. The fact that MJF won that match clean also gives him some tough guy credibility and some credibility going into a match with Danielson, where Danielson's been saying, oh, you're a flake, you're afraid, you're blah, blah, blah. No, what you just saw is he has the ability to win a match clean, as opposed to, say, because that's one of the more overused tropes to me in wrestling, is that the heels always cheat to win, as opposed to they cheat when they have to type of a thing. So you get all these cowardly heels that you never really buy into, as opposed to, say, I mean, like, again, my favorite crew growing up were the Horsemen.
Yep.
And the Horsemen always pride themselves on, we are the most skilled, but we'll sometimes cheat to win type of a thing.
If we have to, we'll take care of business to get it done. And again, I think this is, and with MJF, it kind of goes into the promo that we'll talk about, where he kind of, he's in the back.
Crime.
Yeah. Basically.
I can't believe people reacted the way
Oh
they
my
did
God.
in
It was
the promo.
such an overreaction. I was like, guys.
Did you guys see that? Like, I saw some stat somewhere that the police department.
Yeah, someone was calling cops there.
Like
for some reason.
300 people called in.
Like,
saying,
come on.
like,
What do you guys have? 300 people? You don't have anything fucking better to do with your lives?
Like, I mean,
Jesus. What are we doing, people?
Tom Lawler.
What are we
chimed
doing?
in, said my sister died in a wreck, and also, hey, if you're getting this from Rico Rodriguez story, blah 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 blah. I'm like, there was one guy that MJF needed to clear that with for me, and that is if Mark Briscoe were in the building.
Correct.
You go to him and go, hey, I'm
You
doing
cool if I
this
talk
about
about
car accident. Are you
Yeah.
okay with that?
Yeah.
Other than that, everybody could just shut up about the
What are we-
coincidence.
which Mark
Jesus.
was in the building because he's
Yeah,
he was on Rampage.
He's going to be on Rampage.
so. But yeah, like I was just sitting there, just like, you're watching a wrestling program.
That was a
we
great
all talk about how
wrestling promo.
wrestling is.
I can't believe the
Fake.
heel offended me.
Yeah, what the hell?
gonna
How
call-
can
I'm
he
gonna
talk like
call
that?
my
Because he's an
local-
asshole.
My
His
local
character.
sheriff's department.
His character is he's a scumbag. He said it in the promo. I'm a scumbag.
Yeah.
He's a scumbag piece of shit. That is the character. Well, guess what? A scumbag piece of shit would do something like he said he did. That. What are we doing? Like, why are we? What? Like, come on now. It's a
I
fake.
wanted to be ironic detachment.
If you're in a movie theater,
heels.
if you're in a movie theater seeing a movie and someone on the screen kills somebody else, you call the cops? You call the cops? No, you don't. You know why? Because you're watching a fucking movie. Because it's not real. Well, guess what? Wrestling ain't fucking real. Calm the fuck down.
What?
What are we doing? Wrestling's not real, Pluggo. Exactly. Calm
Real
down,
to me,
everybody.
damn it.
Everybody, calm down.
Oh, but I want it to be. I want it to be more real. I want people to. I want to go back to the
down.
days where they were trying to stab people at shows.
I watched
and
The
stuff
Last
like
of Us
that. I'm
last
here for
Sunday,
that.
and when he killed somebody, I was like, I gotta call the Haverhill Police Department where I live. This guy just killed somebody on my TV screen. What are we doing? What are we doing? Good Lord.
Reminds me of back in the day when the NWO invaded and they like darted Rey Mysterio.
Oh, Rey
with
Mysterio.
a
Yeah.
truck,
Yeah.
and people were calling.
Oh my God. What a time.
I just spit all over everything.
You do that multiple times a week, or like multiple times like a month.
It's
at
a
least.
great gimmick.
It is,
a
but I
great
can't
gimmick.
imagine the cleaning afterwards is
It
great.
takes some time. I put some work into it. Luckily, it's just water. There's not a lot of like sticky cleanup or anything, you know.
Yeah.
So keep it clean.
Man almighty. Well, I know we glossed over it, but are you feeling good, Jeff, about the Guns, the Ass Boys, as the new tag team champions?
I would love nothing more than for the Guns to go out there and have banger of matches now, as opposed to cheating type of things to prove that they're a good tag team. That's really what I kind of want. I've wanted one of these young tag teams to do something. And I think out of all the teams right now, at least, I think the Ass Boys have the best chance of doing something with it. I mean, they've had underrated matches, and they're underappreciated because everybody looks at their dad and thinks their dad's the star of the team, but they're actually, I mean, like Austin's really
actually
good.
okay. Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
And I want them to do something Top Flight and Private Party haven't done, and that is have a run of matches as opposed to like one spot fest that and everybody goes, oh, look at that, they're the future of the business type of thing. I want them to have a nice lengthy run. I want them to have a nice build. Yep. I actually don't want their father to be part of this trio, to be honest with you, because I want them to get over on their own because
isn't that why he left them?
They're knocking 30, or if they're not knocking 30, they're above 30, at least one of them. It's like, dude, it's time to get out of the shadow of daddy and make your own career here, guys. And I want them. I want credibility out of the Ass Boys. Trust me. I love the Acclaimed. But the Acclaimed are also, to me, they're the New Age Outlaws of AEW. They're the Enzo and Cass in some ways of AEW. They get over on their entrance, and they are underappreciated as wrestlers. They've gotten better. Trust me, I'm not knocking their wrestling ability at all.
Yeah.
But they got the tag team titles at a time when you had a killer tag team division. The Guns get it now, and your tag team division is kind of in flux a little bit because you have the Young Bucks associated with the 6-man, along with also like you kind of have Death Triangle in that 6-man loop. You have the House of Black in there, and so you have FTR taking a sabbatical. You have the Best Friends on week after week, and they're a little overexposed. And then you have you don't have a lot of great tag teams there. You have some good tag teams, you have some solid ones, but you don't have a lot of great ones. So this is a chance to kind of rebuild it a little bit. Give them a feud with a Top Flight or something like that. To me, I think that's the way to go, as opposed to putting them with teams that have. Like, I think they're building to giving the belts to FTR. I
think that's what they're going to do here. I think they have a rematch with the Acclaimed. Billy actually turns and sticks with the Guns, and then I think it leads to the FTR.
Yeah,
doing the thing.
But I mean, I think this is also a chance to get. Private Party is not available, but Top Flight is right now, and that would be a nice little. That'd be a nice little young guys type of undercard tag feud, so to speak. I mean, they don't need the belts, but they have the belts, and it's nice. But while you get, the 6-man, the trios title off of the Young Bucks, and you clear the way for some feuds and things like that, I have no problem with the Guns having the titles, to be honest with you.
I absolutely don't either. And I think, you said you want some credibility for the Guns. I think giving them the titles gives them kind of automatic.
They won the titles in a WWE way,
which is very true. But I think at least giving them the titles automatically elevates them a little.
Yeah,
they're elevated. Now we'll see where they go. If they end up losing it in 2 weeks back to the Acclaim, then this is all really for naught, depending on the story. But I think them getting the titles automatically elevates them to a different level because they are the champions now, even though they won it shittily. But yeah, now we need to see a couple credible wins, whether it is over a team like a Top Flight or a team like, I don't know, Butcher and Blade. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the teams
Butcher
that
and
are
Blade
still
would be
there.
fun. You
Oh,
do
yeah,
heel on heel
100%.
thing. I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
And I love Butcher and Blade.
I actually liked when they showed that faction with Butcher, Blade, Bunny, Kip, and Penelope. When they showed the 5 of them on screen, I was actually like, yeah, I could get behind that. I could
Yeah,
get
but
Give me
behind that group
Jungle
right there.
Hook back, damn it.
What is it?
You'd have the guns to be Jungle
They
Hook. I'm
broke
here
that
for
up
that
too
too.
soon.
Yeah,
They
like
broke
just
it up
give them.
too soon. I think it's dead.
Yeah, it probably is.
Hook did a vignette all by himself. like,
Well,
a
yeah,
clip all
Jungle
by
Boy a
himself.
couple weeks ago said I'm going for singles gold and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, like,
Mrs. Pluggo's in the house. Hi, honey.
yeah.
And
well,
in
actually,
fact,
yeah.
I also think you should put the guns back with Stokely.
I think that would be okay too.
Yeah.
I think that would be okay too.
I mean, you got
Speaking-
Moriarty and Ethan Page not doing anything. Let them have a run at it. Big Bill, like, he ain't doing much either. Throw him. I mean, whatever.
So you want interfirm
Yes.
feuds?
Yes. Why not? Why not?
They were in a group.
Little
together.
little jealousy. Like, if you're Ethan Page and Lee Moriarty from a strictly like standpoint of like, we're phenomenal wrestlers too. We're not getting the gold.
Really, I
Like,
just want
so
the Outrunners to win it next
Yeah.
week. That's
Oh
all.
yeah,
Yeah.
The Outrunners, man.
I'm all
Love
for
it.
chaos in my professional wrestling, so I'm down.
Yeah, and we mentioned Top Flight.
Top
They
Flight
had themselves
rules.
quite a trios match last. AR Fox, man.
Yeah, I think the whole point was to get AR Fox over.
Yeah, and they did, in my opinion. Like, he stood toe to toe with Kenny Omega in
because
that
a
match
lot
for
of
a
people
little
don't know AR Fox because
Yeah.
Montez Ford has stolen his entire offense and they don't know that.
bit.
And because I've watched AR Fox matches in PWG, and
Oh my God.
his signature spot is that jump over the turnbuckle and land,
Yeah, like over the
somersault
corner, like
planche
dive.
and,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
when
yeah.
Montez Ford took that, I go, people are gonna think that AR Fox is copying him, but really,
Yeah.
The other way
But,
around.
he stood toe to toe with Omega
yeah.
for a lot in that match. And I think that match did a whole hell of a lot for AR Fox. And that's a dude that's been on the indies for 15 something years. I've watched him all across New England in fucking high school gyms and all over these places having some of the best matches. I saw an Evolve show at a gym with 200 people where it was him versus Keith Lee.
Okay.
And it was people were standing up on their feet by the time
Yeah,
that match ended. You know what I
his-
mean? Like,
his match in California would always be like a 6-man with like ACH and Ricochet
yeah.
or Cedric or
Mm-hmm.
I think no Swerve wasn't it, but on the other side would probably be the Young Bucks or what's I always want to call him Evan Bourne, but
Evan
Matt
Bourne, Matt
Sydal.
Sydal,
Matt
yeah.
Sydal or something like that. You'd have the high flyer party match, and that
Yeah.
would be
And
I just got scolded, by the way, in the text message thread with Mrs. Pluggo for not jumping in the first time you put it on the screen.
well,
But you boys were making
people were
great-
talking.
You were
Yeah, we
making
can't.
great points, but I
Yeah.
love you, Mrs. Pluggo. You know you're the light of my life.
I love you too, Mrs. Pluggo.
Yeah, Jeff Hawkins loves you. What more do
No,
you
I
need?
don't.
I'm about to kick my
She's
cat
gonna-
out of
she's
this
gonna-
desk.
That's caused some trouble there in the Pluggo marriage.
Yeah. When you're married
But-
to me, trouble comes in.
All right, let's tweak some Canadians.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Sami Zayn is
Oh.
a great story,
Okay, yeah, we can transfer to WWE because I do want to talk about the Heyman Cody promo as well.
which was
So,
fantastic. I
Oh
thought.
my God.
I'll tell you the most
Jesus.
fantastic part of it. Look, I understand people think that this is the time to belt Sammy. And I love Sami Zayn. I love El Generico. He's one of my favorite performers. He turned this bloodline story into something fantastic.
Yep.
But there's what's good for the story versus what's good for business.
mhm.
And I am of the opinion that giving Sammy the titles is like having the Carolina Panthers sneak into the playoffs and making the Super Bowl and winning. It's a good story, but it overall hurts football for the most part.
Yep.
It makes the entire season not worth it or whatever. And look, and plus WWE doesn't know how to tell that story. That's the
Yeah.
other thing. It has nothing to do with Sammy necessarily. It has to do with the fact that he works for a company that has no idea how to tell this story because they look at a guy like him and they go, how can he be an ass kicker? Look at him. He's skinny, he's thin, that kind of a thing. And he doesn't fit central casting. But the number of people who are like, they need to call an audible here and belt Sami Zayn. I'm like, you guys are nuts. They're building for the Mania thing, and I don't even know if they're gonna belt Cody there. But
I'm having second doubts about that too. We can dive into that when we start. But specifically with Sami Zayn. All right. To me, as amazing, and as amazing as this blood story has been, the story's always been about Jay and Sami.
Yeah.
It's always been the story.
Uh-huh.
Roman's the leader. He's the head of the table. So he's obviously involved in the things that the bloodline do. But the crux of the Sami portion of the bloodline story has always been about Jay. Jay didn't trust him. Even when he was winning over everybody else, the story was Jay was like, no. And then the story was when Roman started doubting him, Jay turned a corner. And Jay started, nope, this guy's with us. And what happened? He hits the Roman with the chair at the Rumble. And what's the main thing we do? He turns around and he says he's sorry to Jay. And Jay says, what the hell are you doing, man? I said you were my brother, man. What the hell are you doing? The whole story's been Jay and Sami.
It goes even further back than that because Jay was the guy who was trying to convince Jimmy to get on board.
Mm-hmm. Jay was the first one that Roman tortured when he was becoming the head of the table.
Jay has
this
always
character
been,
of Roman started with Jay.
He has always
started
been
with Jay.
Fredo Corleone, so to speak, of the family in terms of the most impressionable member of the family and things like that. And so, and so this whole story, and to me, the story probably should have been that Sami tries to get Jay to turn on Roman eventually. I thought that would have been good.
What the hell? It's usually me.
I kicked him out.
You kicked him out?
I'm done with him.
That's it, JPJ and his never mind.
Patriot stuff.
That was my cat. My bad.
Your cat. But what I was saying is that to me the story should have been Sami trying to turn Jay against Roman at some point.
Well,
and
I think that's what they should. And they say that it's happening in a chamber. We got
they're trolling Montreal. WWE loves to troll Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, this is going to be a Montreal screw job.
Oh, what's going to happen is Jay's going to show up, and Jay's going to cost Sami and realign with the bloodline, and then that's where you're going to get the story heading to Mania, where it's and I bet you Sami will get the shit kicked out of him. KO will be the knight in shining armor this time, and that's how you go to Mania.
Jay's going to turn right at the moment of truth, when Sami has him, and everybody thinks that title's coming back to him.
Yep. And the crowd is ready to knock the roof off that building, and Jay's going to go, I
mean, I was even thinking maybe a Dusty finish where they have him win, and they go, no.
Yeah.
Because Jay was in the ring, or because this, that, and the other. And then Adam Pearce comes out and strips him of the title. So they don't necessarily have to do that in Montreal.
Yeah, and because I got booted out, I missed Hab Guy's comment, but I know he said something like he's starting to hope Cody loses or something like that. I can't pull it up; it's not there for me.
I got you, fam. It says I'm starting to hope Cody loses in Mania to set off a year-long mental anguish of failing at his goal and trying to get back the next Mania to fulfill his dream.
Okay, so what do you do with Roman in the meantime?
But here's the
thing,
and
that's the
whatever
thing.
you want, he doesn't have to wrestle. You make him an attraction. Brock Lesnar did it for years.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we were doing this whole thing to get Rock there, and then Rock decided, that doesn't work.
I told all y'all, Rock wasn't coming. Everybody's like, it's Rock. It's Rock.
Well, that was the goal up until a couple weeks ago, where he said he wasn't going to be in shape.
No, I got to do my XFL.
Yeah.
We got to get an XFL preview going.
To me, it's one of those things where I am starting to have more doubts about it, but I do think Cody probably wins the belts at Mania. I feel like that.
Or wins a belt.
Or wins a belt if they do it a different thing. I don't know, but I just feel like for who they have on the roster, for the way things have been built, Cody seems to be the most logical.
Have you seen
person?
He's a star. He's a star.
Yes.
The starting of the groundswell of people already shitting on the Cody Rhodes title.
Yes,
but and
it's all Sammy people. And I'm just like, you guys are nuts.
Yeah, you guys are crazy. Stop it.
I've argued it. I've said it. I think Sammy and Roman was the match, and I don't think Sammy needs to win. I think you'll do something crazy, like he'll get that win and they'll restart the match type shit. That's where I think it's going to happen.
Well, the thing that WWE
He's going to get the win, and they're going to be like, oh, no, Roman's foot was on the rope or something. Restart the match, and then he loses it.
WWE has failed, and they have 2 weeks to rectify this, but they failed to convince you that Sami Zayn is an ass kicker. that can
Well, they only have a week. It's next.
They had him
Saturday.
jump him, and he's crazy. But I want Sammy to be in full control and to have confidence and to go in there and make you doubt.
He should be saying things like, "This whole time I've been in your bloodline, I've made cracks. I've got things that you don't even know about." Like,
yeah,
he should be playing with. You're absolutely right. They're not doing that, so I don't think he's going to win.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to get emotional. He's going to be dumb baby face. He's going to go to J&J. He's going to screw him. So, I mean,
and I think that's the way they're going to do it because it's the easiest story to tell. But I do agree with both of you. I feel like he should next week on Raw, on SmackDown or Raw, whatever the show they're going to be on both, for crying out loud. He should cut that promo that goes, "Hey man, like I've been inside with you for the last 8 months or whatever the hell it is. Like I know what's going on. I know the inside stories. I know your weaknesses. I know.
Lie a little. Go, hey,
yes,
you know, like Heyman told me some things. While
exactly.
I was
create some doubt. Yo,
Jay and I
me and Jimmy got the handshake. Like me and Jimmy, we talk about their concerns, their whatever. Like I know more than you think I know. I know how to crumble this. Like you're messing with the wrong guy. Like whatever. Like I do think there is room for that type of promo that would then at least create some doubt where it's like, oh shit, Sammy has been a part of this for, he might be telling the truth. He might know some of the stuff that maybe Roman doesn't think he knows. And I
got drunk with Jay one night.
We went out part. We used to, hey, when you went back to the fucking palace, the three of us with Solo would go partying and they would tell me shit and they would say what was bothering them or what they were concerned about and shit like that. Like
Solo didn't say shit.
But the other two,
he was at the casino like this.
Yeah, I just feel like there is room for that where, like Jeff said, you can create some. He has been a part of it. Maybe he does know. I don't know.
But for to go back to the other thing that we were talking about, the thing that made that Cody Heyman promo so great,
spectacular, was
the end for me because look, it got the overwrought, real lifeness in there, which was great for the hook.
Mike
Roman, and you knew he wishes Roman was his son,
and you knew that Heyman was going to drop that bomb too for the twist. But the dismount by Cody, where he just goes, he shakes the hand, goes, "Everybody's trying to make this personal, and I just want to win a wrestling match."
Yep.
And I went, "That's great." That as opposed to getting mad and buying into the trolling, goes, "I'm just trying to win a wrestling match, and everybody's trying to make this personal." Well, I'm going to make it personal for your boy. What he should have done, though, is he should have helped the Sammy program a little bit by saying, "And if Sammy doesn't beat your boy, I'm going to beat him." That kind of thing.
Yeah. I thought that was two professionals that have been doing it for a long time that know what they're doing. And
and Cody had to learn. He had to learn how to tell that kind of story because in AEW sometimes he'd get a little long-winded and he'd get a little full of his own BS at times. He cured racism, that kind of thing.
Remember that?
Yeah, and I was waiting for Brandy to come out and go, "Bitch, did someone say it was open mic night?"
Yeah, who the bitch did someone say this was open night, Mike?
To Heyman, that's what I'm waiting for. And just Heyman's look when that happens.
Yeah.
But no, that was a fantastic piece of business. Look, everything concerning Roman has been great. The problem is now they need to work on some of these secondary stories, especially whatever the hell they're going to be doing with Becky and Bailey at Mania.
I was going to say, I think it should carry to Mania with those two.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what
I would have ended the match that way. No, it's going to be like the Legends 6-person thing. And I think
I think it's going to be what Lita and Trish.
Lita, Trish, and Becky versus Damage Control
or something like that.
They take the titles off of Damage Control before getting to Mania so that they can give them to Ronda and Shayna.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
something like that. All right. Well, we haven't really talked to you since the Royal Rumble. So, obviously we know the Cody thing. We discussed it. So how do we feel about Rhea Ripley choosing Charlotte and kind of trying to go for some revenge for Mania a couple years ago?
I'll let you in on some internals because since November, it hadn't been penciled in that it was going to be Rhea and Becky and Charlotte and Bianca. And I think those are stronger programs, to be honest with you. I think the problem with Rhea and Charlotte is that Charlotte's a terrible babyface.
Awful.
And she's never really had to show ass as a baby face at all. So selling for Rhea is going to be very interesting. They could have brought in somebody like a Madison Eagles or something like that. So that someone who was bigger that Charlotte would have to work from underneath a little bit to do. But Charlotte's promos have never been, getting the chance. I'm the queen. I'm the best. I was made for this. Woo, and she's never really improved all that much. I mean, there's a part of me that thinks they might just turn the Judgment Day babyface at some point to help out this story, because there is no, and plus Rhea actually is like, yeah, I've gotten better. She's the babyface of this thing,
Truly
trying to prove and overcome something. And then and then on the other side with Bianca, it's like, well, who do you put her
it's
against?
gotta be Asuka, right?
I would say, and Asuka's a great buzzsaw.
And Asuka should beat her. I think Asuka should beat her.
Well, I'll give you another point, because she's been downplayed so often. I could see them giving this to Raquel Rodriguez, and then having that, either that or even getting Becky in this chamber somehow, and having Becky win it and redo Bianca and Becky, because it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, you have choices with Bianca. I just find the Rhea Charlotte thing baffling in many ways.
Yeah,
I told you, it should have been Rhea and Belair.
Yeah, Rhea and Bianca. Have guys saying, all I want is for Rhea when she wins to hoist Dom up on her shoulder like Macho Man did with Miss Elizabeth.
Dominic has been a comedy revelation.
Yeah, Dominic, I love it. I'm all
Monday.
in, and it is just wonderful stuff.
When he gave in to the stupid, it became great.
Yeah, and when he got hit with that, he was up on that glam slam, and he had that stupid face, "Mommy!" And there was the perfect sign above him that said, "Eddie is your real father, or real dad," or something. Oh my God, it was spectacular. Yeah, but I agree with you. Once he kind of gave in and was like, I'm going to lean into the stupidness of what's going on here. I'm going to lean into the dumb here. It's been
hard
fantastic.
Time. It's
you don't know what it's like. I've been doing hard
30
time.
minutes in a drunk tank or
you
something
would have
like
never
that.
survived inside, man. Like when he's leaning in, it's wonderful.
I wanted the whole Oz treatment. I wanted the theme.
Yeah. It is truly really good. I think it's got to be Asuka that faces Bianca. I think of all the people,
Crazy
I think especially with
PTA mom Asuka
with
is
like
fantastic always, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I feel like Asuka's the one, and it will be more of this evil kind of. I know they haven't really gone that route.
Do we involve Uncle Howdy / Bray in this angle now that Alexa's taking a bit of a break?
I would say no.
I think it is. I think he's the onus of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's what Belair needs. The summer of like.
Well, I mean, that's what they look. That's the kind of storytelling they like to do up in Stanford.
I know.
I don't know. I feel like if Asuka does end up being the one that faces Bianca, I feel like Asuka should beat her. I really do.
I like the Raquel
that's never going to happen.
And
I love Asuka. Trust me.
Yeah.
Those feats of strength.
And you don't bring out the Kana more in Asuka to not give her a push, is what happened.
Well, this is the push, though. The push is she's getting a quote unquote main event at Mania in terms of on the women's side with Bianca.
Yeah.
But she also doesn't need a title to help her. I mean, she is always. I mean, it's one of the more remarkable things at WWE that somebody who can't speak English has gotten over and is almost Teflon. The way that Asuka is, because you can beat her and Asuka will just come out, do her sexy dance, run into people with her hips, and and she'll still be and spit her mist now, and she'll be over. And it's just like wow. But then I mean, she's just a badass. She's just awesome. I love her.
Yeah, she is truly great, and we're a mere 7-8 weeks away from WrestleMania. We have a couple matches set in stone. Obviously, we know it's going to be Rhea and Charlotte. We know it's going to be Cody and Roman. But the rest of the card is kind of up for grabs currently. I know there's rumors. Everyone thinks Sammy and KO versus the Usos is pretty dead set, which I think we can all agree with. And then obviously we know the winner of the Women's Elimination Chamber will face Bianca. So we kind of have an idea of who Bianca will end up fighting, no matter who wins, what's going on there. How do we see the rest of this WrestleMania card? It looks like they're going to go Seth Rollins and Logan Paul seems to be the direction they're going to be going there.
And having watched the Royal Rumble with a lapsed fan of 20 some odd years and my brother, he loved Logan Paul. He was like, my God, that guy's good.
Here's the thing. Regardless of what you feel about him from a personal standpoint,
right?
He is made for this stuff.
Oh yeah. No, that spot with Ricochet was so fantastic.
Incredible.
I'll give you another match that's probably going to happen. That's Brock Lesnar versus Gunther.
You don't think they carry the Lashley thing further?
No.
Okay.
I think
I
it's gonna
would
be
prefer, because they had that moment in the Rumble where they stared at each other, and the crowd definitely was ready for it. And I loved Corey Graves, like, sign me up. Like, he was saying all that stuff. Like,
It's been penciled in since November. But
yeah.
I think
So
that's where-
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. More than okay.
No, and I think that's interesting. I think Brock might actually take some offense from Gunther. And of course, the other Imperium guys can take the F5s and stuff like that. That'll be fine. I think that'll be a fun one.
What do you think, Cena in theory?
Yeah.
For the U.S. title, probably?
Yeah, I do. I think Bray, Uncle Howdy probably gets a match in there.
Against each other.
Against
Bray
each other,
versus Uncle
probably,
Howdy.
in some ways. Like,
yeah.
That's the cinematic
Does
match.
Mountain Dew have another flavor coming
No,
out?
I think that'll be like
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, they said, right? Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
No, they said a sponsor, and I think it's going to be Snickers, and I think it's going to be the "you're not yourself when you're hungry" type of match where they're all doing like gimmick changes, like a Hardy compound type thing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't know that for a fact. That's just a guess for me. And then you'll have like a battle royal in there. You'll have like some sort of multi-person type of thing. You'll have Shane and Ronda going up against whoever the tag team champs are, unless they're the tag champs.
Yeah.
Because they really want to get the belts on them.
Which I'm okay with. I'm
fine. I'm fine with there not being a Becky Ronda feud this year.
Yeah.
Because I just think that's another person you should have never put her on week after week. You should have just kept Ronda the hell off, because she can't cut a promo. She's not very likable. And the rest of them are just throw together.
What do you think, like Edge and Finn Balor? Probably, or something like that.
Well, I think Elimination Chamber is going to be a mixed tag with.
Yes, they're doing that, but do we think that dives into or we think that's the end of it, or do we think that dives into like maybe like Finn and?
I could see a multi-person match, or I could actually see Dominic versus Ray.
Or Dominic versus Ray is another one that I think you could throw in there on one of the nights.
Because it's 2 nights.
Makes sense.
We're gonna have something with Sheamus and Drew in some fashion. I don't know. Maybe they put them up against like Braun and Ricochet
or something.
And then we'll have like the Brutes and the Imperium, and we'll have a 4-way tag or something like that.
Yeah.
But there aren't a lot of good singles feuds necessarily in there.
I don't think so.
So
trying to think about like where
the Miz will get something.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Miz Gargano, maybe. I don't know.
Miz Gargano could be something.
He's busy this weekend.
Wow, what's he doing?
He's playing in the Celebrity All-Star game.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, that's next week. I thought it was the same night as Chamber.
17th, the Friday night.
Okay.
The skills challenges are Saturday for All-Star weekend, but yeah.
I was trying to remember what
I wonder what kind of game the Miz has. I'm intrigued.
I think he'll be all right. Why not?
He's in Southern California.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. He was he was on the
Savage
challenge for all those years
before
he dove into WWE and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Under points for the Miz in the Celebrity All-Star game.
6.
Oh, I was gonna say 10. But yes, all right, 6 is good.
digits?
I would go over the 6. I would go over the 6.
I got a
Depends on how much time is he starting. Is he?
Yeah, exactly.
That's for the degenerates to figure out.
Yeah, exactly, because there will be betting lines on that.
Yeah,
so
look, we know people aren't going to pass in that game, so it's like one of those things. Yeah.
No.
Two 3-pointers in him.
Are we up against Hard Out at the hour?
No, we're good.
Okay, but I was going to say we haven't even talked about the Super Bowl yet.
Oh no, we're talking about
next
the Super Bowl.
week.
Next week we're stuck with the Hard Hour again.
Returns, friends.
Yeah, but no, we're good. We got the time that we need here. I'm trying to think if there's anything left that happened in the week that was in the wrestling side of things before we do turn it over to some football talk.
Look, it's been a while. What did you think of the Toxic Attraction breakup?
Okay.
Really?
What was that?
It was me thinking about my response. What, am I not allowed to take a moment to ponder?
No,
you felt like you had something to say.
Yeah, you went.
Here's my thing.
You were about to unload on.
Yeah,
here's my thing.
Okay, here we go. He has a strong opinion about it.
No, well, I think they shouldn't have done it.
Okay.
You need women's tag teams.
I agree.
Bring them up to the main roster. They could have fit in immediately.
They were on the main roster for a week and they got
exactly
back down, which is kind of baffling.
They were in that tournament.
Yeah. And they were doing good. They got over, I thought.
Yeah, and Have Guy saying so much for my hopes of Chelsea Green, like Toxic Attraction joining Chelsea Green on the main roster. I would have been cool with them not kind of going back to a trio with somebody else, but like you bring them up just as a, hey, this is an established tag team from NXT, multi-time NXT women's champions.
Yeah.
They're here. It again, up on the main roster, how many women's tag teams do we have? Count
you
them.
have Damage Control. And that's
say them
about
out.
it.
Damage Control. That's literally it. You
And
know what I
maybe
mean?
Ronda and Shayna.
Yeah, Ronda and Shayna would be a good, yes. But like right now, there's literally like one legitimate women's tag team on the main roster. And you have tag team titles on your main roster.
Yeah, and you've now taken the secondary women's tag titles and turned it into a story title with the Brazzers duo over there. Yeah.
Yep. So it's one of those things to me where it's like this was as easy as you could get. Established women's tag team coming up to the main roster, another player in the women's tag team division, which you clearly need to make those titles matter because they fucking don't. So it did not make sense to me. Now, if you're keeping them in NXT and there are no immediate plans to bring them up, which maybe that's the case, okay. I just don't, from what I've seen, because Mandy was the dominating person in that group for the whole time. So I just have not seen enough singly from each of those women that makes me think like, okay, and what now? They're just going to be solo stars instead of coming up as a established tag team where they could actually be stars in a division that needs a kick in the ass.
Okay, I was early on this, but I thought that JC was the glue of that team for a while.
She seems to be the one that like gets.
Well, she had a rough start because she wasn't getting the. They do a thing with the sexy gimmick, where they make you, if you watch, all the people with the sexy gimmick have to walk the tightrope down the middle of the imaginary tightrope down the middle of the lane and whatever, foot after foot. She's having problems with that. She's kind of having problems with the attitude type of thing. But I think she's the money. I mean, as she's gotten more confident in the gimmick and things like that, she's been the one who's had the personality. She's been the better actor of the two. I think Gigi, because of her indie run, had a lot more of the fanboy type of thing, but I just don't. I've never really seen it in her. Even when she was doing the Hell's Favorite harlot gimmick on the indies, I'm just. But I think as a team, they were very, very good, and they were very good for each other. And I kind of agree that they rushed this. I can't believe apparently they screwed up the way the door was supposed to be facing.
Really? Her face was pretty messed up.
Yeah, well, the door was supposed to go the other way when they ran the head into it, and it turns out it didn't.
And that's probably why she ended up with like that. It looked like a door burn.
This is why you always check your props. Sorry,
Yeah, it looked gnarly. It looked gnarly.
Clearly, they're not planning on calling them up anytime.
And that's the vibe that I get.
Or they're going to repackage them if they do.
Yeah, I almost feel like.
But it's not like things that happen in NXT really ever mattered on the main roster anyway.
Well, I think
they'll be a tag team again.
Well, I think they're going to be bringing up Casey and or Katana Chance and Caden Carter, who are an interesting team. They've improved heads and shoulders. I think they're going to give them a chance to grow on the main roster. I think they're bringing them up.
They just need
they are tiny.
The NXT titles.
They are
women's titles.
Well, the reason they lost, I think, was because they're going to bring them up, and they have double team moves, which helps them a lot. But man, they are tiny. They are tiny women.
Katana Chance barely. I don't think she can see over the ropes.
Yeah, but I mean, I also just would have never changed her name because she still had that. She still had the celebrity from American Ninja Warrior that whole time, which was a huge mainstream hit. Obstacle Course, the TV show.
I used to gamble on those shows, over-unders on how long they'd last.
Really?
Just for
You're degenerate. What are you doing?
We'd be sitting around being like, I got $5 that says Sofa.
Okay, $5 is fine.
Yeah, I don't have money, Jeff. I don't have Jeff Hawkins money, bro.
Oh, well,
most
of that Jeff Hawkins money got lost in the market this year.
We got Gigi.
Don't worry, that Spencer check will clear.
Have guy saying, fun fact, I saw Gigi perform in person and she used my brother's back to prop up her opponent to deliver a chop. So that's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I'm not saying that she doesn't have talent. I'm saying I didn't think I thought she was. I thought they're saying she was the star of the group was a little bit overwrought. To be honest with you, when JC's been doing clearly best work and also
Gigi
mostly
is
in ring
over,
work.
though. She was hella over at Vengeance Day. Like,
That's fine.
I'm just
She'll
saying,
be
like,
good as a babyface. I think people will like her as a babyface.
Gigi?
I think maybe she might have been miscast as a heel. That's possible.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that 100% her getting over as a babyface. She definitely has a look that people probably could get behind with the attitude and stuff like that. I just, again, kind of what we're talking about. And, and maybe if Katana and Caden are the other choice of bringing the established tag team up, cool. I just feel like you have a tag team division on the main roster that needs tag teams.
Yeah,
So
well, they
breaking
care,
up one of your premier ones doesn't make sense to me.
Well, remember, this is also the main roster is a place where your tag champs put the belts on the desk and left at
true.
one point. So I mean, they could
It's
give
true.
a shit about tag team titles
It's
for
true.
the most part.
You are right.
Men
You are
or
right.
women, the Usos having both belts is the most they've cared about tag titles in about 15 years in that fucking company. So
Yeah.
we think they lose it tomorrow?
Wait, what?
There's a tag team championship match.
Oh, the Usos versus no.
tomorrow,
Exactly.
They're losing it at WrestleMania to KO and Sammy. That's what's going on now.
what's tomorrow?
On SmackDown, the Usos are fighting on SmackDown.
Oh, wait, no, today's Thursday.
Tomorrow.
You're right. Okay,
It's
tomorrow.
not that far from me where they are, Mohegan Sun. That's within a couple hours. I should have went. I think they're gonna, because the story going into tomorrow is Jay gonna show up, and I think he'll show up. And
Yeah. I don't think he shows up till Elimination Chamber.
So who do you think, like Solo fills in, or you think?
Yeah, I think they do Freebird rules.
Fair.
Because they did that when Sammy saved the titles. Remember?
That is true. That is true with Jimmy. All right, I'd be okay with that if we don't see Jay until the chamber.
What if they were like, Sammy's the only person that could fill in because you've used him already in the Freebird thing, and then
imagine.
Well, they could do that, or you know what? I could see Jimmy winning it by himself, and then there being
do that too.
Oh, does Jimmy trust his brother anymore? Type of a thing, and then Jay pays it off with the super kick to Sammy's head.
There you go.
I could see that happening too. That'd be all right.
I could see Roman coming in and doing it if he. He did that before. I think he's like, I'll fill in. I'm your partner this week.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways they can go. It's really
Paul Heyman steps in. Just stand there, Paul. I got this.
I'd be fine with that too. Nicholas from Braun Strowman and Nicholas.
Oh, imagine Nicholas.
They bring Nicholas in.
He's got to be bigger and older now. He'll be fine. Have guys saying that is Jay going to show up for Chamber is because of Canada not allowing people with too many DUI charges, but they make exceptions.
Is that Jay or Jimmy?
Well, Jimmy has the actual DUIs, but I do think Jay has some history that.
Okay. No, I was wondering that too. I mean, you can have the mystery go on, but eventually Jay's going to turn. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, look at it for the storyline purposes. It makes the most sense if he does it at Chamber
with
that crowd.
Yes.
Like you said, Sammy's on the verge of breaking through, and that crowd is ready to fucking explode. And Jay comes back and goes, "No, not today." And it's like, "Oh my god,"
And Roman has the sharpshooter on him.
Yeah, something like that. Like,
really good heat.
They ring the bell. But like something like that that's the gold storytelling of this working. You know what I mean? So, but like you said, Hab guy, they do make exceptions for sports and entertainers. So I'm hoping, Triple H called who he had to call and say, "Hey guys, we got to make this work."
And the company will say, "Hey, he's going to be under our protection. He won't be out by himself."
Yeah, he'll be with us. We'll have curfew on him.
He's leaving as soon as the show is over. He's not staying.
Whatever you need to say, whatever you need to do to make it work, you need them there to continue that story, especially with that being going to be the main event. Going to be, you just need them to be there. All right, I was going to say any other Chambers not until next one. I feel like the Chamber card is shaping up to be pretty good.
I just don't like the Chamber for a secondary title. I also just don't like the Chamber in between Rumble and Mania, to be honest with you. It should be, it should be what the Survivor Series was, but now that they got War Games, it's pretty much good. I would put it somewhere else, though.
Yeah, I feel like they should kind of, there were the rumors that Triple H wants to make Hell in a Cell more of a blow off.
And I'm fine with that.
Yep, I feel like they
Or
should
make this the tag. I love the tag team elimination chambers. I
Yeah.
always found those interesting,
Yeah.
both the men and the women's, because you've already established a single star with the Rumble.
Mhm.
Let's make elimination chamber the tag team thing.
Yeah, I'm not really against them doing a secondary title. I do. I always thought it was kind of dumb that you would have, and I know Sean Ross Sapp has been a big advocate of this publicly, like on the shows, but like you have a guy win the Royal Rumble, beats 30 dudes to win the Royal Rumble, and then 3 weeks later he has to beat
defend it.
5 other
Yeah.
dudes
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
to go to WrestleMania.
Nope.
So like I'm okay with it being a secondary title now because it prevents that from happening.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of it being for a number one contendership as well. Like I like that part of it too. Hey, you want to be the number one contender and get a title match at WrestleMania? Go through hell right here to go do that. So I'm not necessarily against it. I did like the tag teams. I feel like this is a match that it shouldn't have its own pay-per-view. I feel like this is a match that should be thrown out whenever you're at, just a certain, how they used to do it, like, hey, it could be any pay-per-view it could be at, and then just go, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put it inside the elimination chamber. And then everyone just goes, oh shit. All right. It's oh God. Like, and that's what they want to kind of get back to when it comes to the Hell in a Cell. They want to get back to that. Like we've had a long, the Edge and Judgment Day feud. Like it would make sense if after the match, the mixed tag, or however it ends, if it still ends with, some bullshit or whatever, that Edge goes, you know what, Finn? I've had enough of this. I'm ending this. You and me in Mania, Hell in a Cell.
Did you blink
That is what that's for.
Did you blink twice at all at Dax on his podcast saying that Edge and Christian versus FTR and AEW is closer than you might think?
I was going to say closer than you may think. Yeah, I did hear him say that, and I was like, is it? Do you think it is?
I don't.
Do you see Edge going to AEW?
Edge is so made in WWE, and
Like,
his wife gets a payday occasionally. Yeah.
If anything, I would see it. I mean, Christian hasn't been on TV.
I could see it in WWE more.
That's what I was going to say. If anything, I could see it happening in WWE down the line in the future. I don't know though. All right. Pluggo, anything you want to talk about from a wrestling standpoint before we maybe transition over to the big game that's happening Sunday evening?
No, all of it. Let's just talk. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Why not?
Here's what we're going to do real quick. We're going to take a small break. We're going to play a little ad for our sponsors, our friends over at Manscaped. And then we will come back and we are going to talk a little bit. What is it? 57? A little bit of Super Bowl 57.
Go Steelers.
Oh, how dare you? How dare you? I know Jeff is on my side with that as well, but the Steelers are my least favorite team in all of football.
They should give it to this Super Bowl to the Bengals regardless. But
well, we'll dive into that too, because I do want to get your opinions on how you're feeling.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's watch a little bit thing about our friends in Manscaped, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some football.
Well, let me tell you something, everyone. If you go over to manscaped.com, right this moment in time, right now, you can save 20% off of your next purchase at manscaped.com. But how am I going to save 20%, I hear you ask? Well, let the wordsmith tell you. Because if you enter promo code LOVEWRESTLING, that's right, Love Wrestling. You can see it down here. You can see it scrolling across the screen. Enter promo code LOVEWRESTLING and save 20% off of anything you find on that website. And also, you'll get free shipping. How crazy is that? 20% off. You can use it to buy the Lawnmower 4.0. And at the end of the day, your balls are going to thank you because, like the headline says, at manscaped.com, we save balls. and it's just too sweet.
There it is. That's our good friend, Pluggo's best friend, actually.
friend.
Yeah, Pluggo's best friend,
Best
the
friend.
wordsmith, talking about manscaped.com.
You know, I've been through Sean Ross Sapp live reads.
Yeah.
I've been through my own live reads. I've never
Yep.
quite been through the cinema verite of that.
That's what I'm saying. That's
That
why
is
he is.
amazing.
That's why he is the wordsmith. He is one of a kind. But as you can see below, if you go to manscaped.com, you type in that promo code Love Wrestling, you will get 20% off plus free shipping over at manscaped.com.
Worldwide, baby.
Yeah, that shipping is worldwide. You can live anywhere. All right. Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. kickoff.
6:25 p.m. Get
Is it
right.
6:25? It says 6:30 for me. But all right,
It used to
6:25.
be 6:25.
Either way, somewhere around that time, we have the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Where is it?
State Farm
Arizona, right?
Stadium in
Yeah,
Glendale, Arizona.
It is in Arizona for Super Bowl 57. Before we dive into this game, obviously, Jeff,
Yeah.
your Cincinnati Bengals were in the AFC Championship for the second year in a row. Last year, they prevailed
Yeah.
by beating the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City.
And
This year,
the
they
script
came up
wasn't
just
happening.
a tad short.
And I was also there.
You went to Kansas City. You were there. You were in the stadium.
My brother is a Kansas City Chiefs season ticket holder.
Oh my God.
He flies in from DC for games.
look
And,
at you.
and so I've been at the game the last 2 days.
We got Josh Robinson saying AEW just announced a TV deal here in Australia, so no
Awesome.
more
There
fight
you
for them. That's
go.
awesome. Hi, Josh. Good to see you, friend.
Yeah, so
It's
I
on
was,
ESPN. Holy
I was-
shit. All
I
right.
was
That's
in the
a big
house
deal.
and it was butt ass cold. Oh my
Oh, I
god, was it
bet.
cold
Yeah,
there.
Kansas City's raw in the winter.
Well,
How
we got
far away-
lucky.
was
We
you
got
in
lucky
LA? You're
last.
stationed in LA?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I flew out there.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to go last year as well. That was nice. This year, not so
That was a
much.
good one. That was a good,
Last
that was a
year
good trip.
or this year, I thought with 239 and Burrow with the ball, I thought maybe.
Yeah.
Philly's
but-
in the house too, by the way. Shout out to Philly.
Oh yeah.
But to me, I was watching the game and I was like, I couldn't believe we were still in it. To be honest with you, our offensive line again.
Not great.
When you lose a starting lineman 3 weeks in a row, it's gonna be
Yep.
hard.
Mhm.
And Buffalo, we got lucky with bad weather. I was hoping it would snow because I think snow would have helped us because we could have had a running game as opposed to the quick passes. And I think once Tyler Boyd went down,
Yes.
our vertical passing just went out the window because we stopped doing it for the most part.
Mhm.
They had Tyler Irwin in there as the third slot back, and everybody knew he wasn't going to him, so they just double chased the entire time. And so we didn't have a running game. We didn't have a vertical passing game. And yeah, I mean, I rewatched it on TV after I went there, and I'm watching. I'm like, I can't stand Ron Torbert. He's the man who also threw the flag on Zach Wilson in the Super Bowl for that.
Well, I wanted
pass
to ask
interference.
you because there was a lot of coming out of that game. There was a lot of questioning the referees with some of the calls that were
there
seen
was-
to be pro Kansas City.
There was a no call on Burrow getting hit out of bounds.
Yeah.
I thought the Osai call was good.
Yeah, it was the right call. It was and
but
that's a
I
shame
also-
because that guy played his ass off.
but I
That he had
thought-
a great game
yeah,
up until
I
they
love
played his
him.
ass off.
But I think there should have been offsetting penalties on that play as well because I think there were holds against 2 of the linemen on that play after watching them. But I mean, it's hard to bitch about the refs when you don't think that you were playing that well.
Yeah.
And I was under the opinion. I mean, from what I was told, it was a great game. From watching it in the stadium, I didn't think it was a great game, but it was close. So it was one of
Yeah.
those things where I'm just like, we can't really do anything. I wasn't terribly impressed with what the Chiefs could do. I just think, if Hayden Hurst catches that touchdown pass as opposed to it getting knocked out at the last second, maybe we win that game
Mhm.
early, going ahead because nobody could really score in the second half.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they should have. I thought maybe Mahomes flopped a little on that push by Osai as well.
Oh, he
I mean,
definitely sold it. Definitely sold it.
I'm not
I would say
saying
he
I'm not
sold it.
saying it wasn't a good call. I'm saying
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying maybe you swallow that flag. And then if they swallow that flag, maybe the Bengals have a shot of getting in with a field goal. And maybe
it's
it's
like a 58-yard field goal at that point if you don't call that flag.
Right, and you're not kicking that in that weather.
No.
That weather, those. I mean, he barely got that one from 30 or 28 over the crossbar. Barely got that because those balls were frozen in rocks at the time. There, I mean, I had a bottle of water in my pocket and it froze. That's how cold it was
really?
in that stadium. Yeah,
Jesus.
But and maybe we get a couple of those linemen back for the Super Bowl if we win. But I hesitate to say we were screwed, but there were definitely some things that you're just like, wait a second.
Yeah.
And I'm praying to God that Anarumo doesn't go to the Cardinals because I love that guy.
Yeah, well, I was going to say he is getting some head coaching opportunities.
He got one head
interviews or opportunities.
He's the last two in between him and the offensive coordinator for the Giants. And I think Kyler Murray, being a coach killer, is going to want the offensive guy.
Yeah.
And he has
that'll be all right. That means he'll probably stick with you, right? So
I love. He's my favorite defensive coordinator ever, and I loved Zimmer too. And the Eagles had the luxury of not having to play a quarterback in their game.
Okay, so all right. So as we dive in here, okay,
They played about 3.
Well, I was gonna say, so we have obviously the 2 number 1 seeds. The Eagles have been the best team in the league record-wise all year.
Yes.
They are there. I do feel like they are the more complete team of the 2.
I agree.
However, I can't remember an easier road to get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, the NFC soft.
In a while.
The NFC was soft this year. I don't care.
Real tough.
He was a murderer's row of quarterbacks, and that's why I also think.
And that's why the Eagles are going to win by 20.
Well,
and that's very possible. That's very possible.
Lamar's going to the NFC next year. That's
think so?
My call. I think he's going to probably Atlanta or
Detroit.
I was thinking that. I thought the Patriots would make a run at him, to be honest with you. Him and Bill are very affectionate towards each other. Are
public.
They? Oh, yeah.
I
say a lot of good things about each other.
I could see Belichick wanting to kill him the first time he doesn't decide to stay in the pocket.
There was always rumor they didn't do it because he was available for them at the pick, but there was big rumor at that draft that he came out of that the Patriots were heavily interested in drafting him. And then he was available for them at 32, and they didn't. I don't even remember who they took, but they probably took someone who's not in the fucking.
They graded the pick
so Pluggo, give your breakdown of the game here because I'm going to talk a little bit when it's my turn. So I'm going to let you guys go.
Mr. Warren Hayes in the chat. Jeez, of course Hawkins is here, and they're talking football.
Yeah, we talked Canada before, so
we did. We did, Warren. We talked wrestling. We talked Canada. We did do that.
Great, Mr. Warren Hayes. How you doing? How are you? Which game am I breaking down? The Super Bowl game or just the playoffs in general?
No, the Super Bowl game. That's what we're here to talk about.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, everybody's like, that's why I said Eagles by 20 because they have the softest road, yada, yada, yada. But I think it's going to be, it might be one of the highest scored Super Bowls in history.
Oh,
I've got that vibe.
Defense, though,
Eagles defense is great. What are you talking about?
Real good.
But it's the Chiefs and Patty Mahomes, and they put up numbers, and I just
my thing is,
I feel like we're gonna get into a shootout because that defense is. I mean, it's good, but I mean, how many great defenses go stop? How often do you stop the Chiefs?
I mean, they can be stopped. The Patriots stopped them a few times. The Bengals stopped them. They can be stopped. And I do think how injured Mahomes is.
I did see a bunch of people on the injury report for the Eagles just said rest was their injury. AJ Brown is on the.
Wasn't the NFC Championship game enough rest? They were going against fucking a dude out of the stands as the quarterback for crying out loud.
They're rested and ready to go. I have a feeling.
For me, it's one of those things where how I view it is, like I said, I think the Eagles are the more complete team.
Yeah.
But like all of us here, like I've been watching football for a long time, and sometimes in the biggest games, the best players are the guys that step up and do it, and I have a hard time picking against Patrick Mahomes because I think he is the best player.
Are you telling me you'd be surprised if it was like 45-42?
At the end of the day, no. I really wouldn't be that surprised, but just the Eagles defense is really good. Really good.
And I also don't think the Eagles offense is going to get into a shootout necessarily. I think what's going to happen is everybody's going to think that because I think the Chiefs are going to score really quick on their first possession and everybody's going to go, oh, here we go. But the Chiefs have I believe they have the number 32 run defense in the NFL.
Mhm.
And I think you can run it down their throats.
Mhm.
I think the Eagles have to do one of two things. I think they either have to have the run game really going, or they have to have the vertical pass game going, because that defensive backfield is a little sus, other than Juan Thornhill.
Yeah.
The problem is the Bengals, at least because they didn't have a line, were doing all the short pass stuff, and that plays right into that defense's hands. Now, for Kansas City, the thing is they have Kelsey, and that's always a problem because no matter what the team is in the NFL right now, if you have a quarterback and you have a tight end who's great,
Warranted.
it's going to be a problem for your defense, because do you put a linebacker who can't keep up with them in pass coverage, or do you put a safety who is smaller than them that'll get wrecked in the defensive backfield? So yeah, but their receivers
we need
aren't
Warren's
much.
breakdown of this game. Apparently,
Valdez Scantling and Juju Smith-Schuster haven't been fantastic for them. They've made a couple of good catches in there, but they haven't been the Tyreek Hill second option type thing.
Yeah.
Their
It's really
running
been-
game, their running game has been off. They lost a receiver in the Cincinnati game.
Yes.
In that, so I think there's going to be one of these things where Mahomes and Kelsey hook up early, and it's 7-0, and then Hurts just drives them down with Devontae Adams or. Did I get that
Devontae
right?
Smith, yeah,
Devontae Smith
Thank you.
and
Devontae
AJ
Adams is the
Brown.
receiver. I get those.
Devontae Adams signs with the Eagles.
No.
Right?
But he drives him down with a run game type thing, like an 8-minute drive or something like that.
Mhm.
Starts to wear down that defense a little bit. Offense comes out again, goes real quick maybe, or they get a 3-and-out, and then the Eagles come back again, and that defense is tired on the Chiefs' end. And I think the Eagles can win this very.
Oh yeah.
And I think also Hurts is going to be a problem for that defensive line. I know the defensive line gets a lot. They're going to over pursue, and I think Hurts is going to really take advantage of that, because Chris Jones is sick, so that's interesting too. They have a flu bug going through the Chiefs right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that
flu game for the Chiefs, baby. The flu game is real.
But that line over pursues. So with a quarterback who can run, and Burrow did this a couple of times. I mean, it was like a 4th and 16, and he just ran it. Sometimes they will over pursue. Jalen Hurts is going to kill him if they over pursue and they don't do contain. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I am thinking, and plus Andy Reid always does something stupid in a game. There's always a trick play,
yes,
or a bad clock decision, or he decides to challenge something where you're like, "What the hell are you doing?"
What was that?
That ring around the road. And I think, look, it either works or it doesn't. I think this time it doesn't. I think he does some trick play and it blows up in his face, and it ends up hurting them down the road somewhere. Mm. But I mean, look, I get everybody. Oh, it's Mahomes, it's Kelsey, it's Mahomes, it's Kelsey. I think the Eagles are the better team. Even though
I think they are. I think
they
are. I think they're the more complete, better team.
And I think also they have this thing, like when they played the Colts and they just bodied them out of the building because Sirianni and Reich were boys. Sirianni's coming in here with a chip on his shoulder because Reid fired him at one time, and for some reason that team takes on that coach's personality.
Yeah, but they fired him because he was a first-year coach. The guy Reid.
He was the receivers coach, I think, for the Chiefs or something like that. But
I saw. Did you guys know? This is crazy, right? This is that there's brothers playing in the Super Bowl. This is like, did you know Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, did you know Cody was injured?
If the Eagles had Ertz still, I would even put the Eagles up big. I think it was huger because their tight end right now is good.
Goddard, right?
Yeah, he's not Zach Ertz.
No, they chose him over Zach Ertz though. Warren saying, "Hey, Rihanna is so focused on the halftime show she forgot about her birthday. So I don't know if Mahomes is so focused he forgot anything of significance." And then Warren says, "Wait, Cody was injured?"
Yeah, did you hear?
All you people with the Cody slander. I will not take that.
Hey, I'm a Cody guy. I love Cody.
It's not Cody's. It's not that I'm slandering Cody as much as I'm slandering like WWE for every 30 seconds, being like, Cody's injured, right? Here's the promo. Here's a vignette.
Well, I mean, look, okay, if I could get the happy medium between WWE and AEW, WWE beats it over the head and AEW forgets it for 4 weeks, and then they bring it back up and go, "Oh, it was long-term storytelling." Yeah, shut up. Wasn't. You just
Warren,
forgot.
chat, is Warren? Are you watching the Super Bowl, Warren, or are you watching Velma?
Or like,
No, Warren already
Hockey.
watched Velma, and he loathed it
know.
just like everybody else.
No,
He said no, he's not watching.
I may not watch the
Bowl.
Super Bowl. I'm still upset. My brother.
I was going to say, you being, I mean, no
No
on
on
both.
both.
He said no on both. No on both. I believe Warren has already watched it. He already watched Velma.
You realize
Warren's
how
watching
honored,
whatever his lady tells him to watch.
You know how honored I am that was a clip for Warren on social media. Was me asking him if he'd rather watch Velma or the Pitch Black match. Like, I feel honored. Like, just,
Oh yeah, Jeff. What were your opinions on the Pitch Black match?
I didn't watch it.
Fair. All right. Well,
No, I was in Kansas City. I was in Kansas City. I went to dinner.
I said, wow, Jeff.
I think
wow.
that's to your comment,
I
Jeff.
know,
I'm pretty sure.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, I went to dinner when Cody came out at number 30, and we got back at when the women's Rumble on number 26. So I literally missed nothing of value in the
Gotcha.
Rumble.
Gotcha.
I
How
did
did you
try.
feel
I
about-
did try Mountain Dew Pitch Black Zero Sugar though, and it was interesting.
So I was on the Fightful watch along that night, and it was a requirement that you needed to buy a Pitch Black to be a part of the Fightful watch along. So I tried it too.
Now, how's the
And
sugar version? Is it good?
I had the sugar version. It tasted like grape Diamond Tap. So
Okay. Yeah, that's about right.
that was my review of
Although
Mountain
it's
Dew
better
Pitch
than
Black.
the melon.
I have
one
not.
I hated, and then-
Major Melon is fine. What are you talking
That's-
about?
I have not. First of all, I went to a convenience. So
the
I was
voodoo
told
kind
this.
sucks
I was
too.
told this. So I stop at a convenience store after work. I'm like, shit, I got to go to a convenience store and get a Pitch Black. There were like 7 different flavors of Mountain Dew. And I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell's it was like the first time I took the corner at a grocery store and saw the Pop-Tart aisle.
You know what
And I was
we
like,
should
when I was a
do?
kid, there were 3 flavors.
We
half
should
the
get
aisle
all the
is-
flavors
yeah.
of Dew and have a night where we just try them all.
I mean, I would probably not enjoy that, but I
Well,
would
that's
do
fine.
it.
That'd be
I
a
would
cool
Well,
do
like
it.
Dr. Pepper's doing the same thing with that strawberries and cream flavor.
I was going
which
to say, yeah, they just
I was
came up
looking
with-
for those zero sugar. They only had the sugary version, so I couldn't try it. But it's like
Yeah.
they just.
I can't find that anywhere up here.
strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper.
Everybody's buying it up.
Now
No,
the
yeah.
Dr. Pepper and cream soda is a delight.
Delicious.
It's
Yeah.
It's a
fire.
delight.
Well, they
I
have
like-
Dr. Pepper
I
has
like
their
the
own
zero
version of
sugar
cream soda.
stuff, you know.
Okay, so wait a second. So I have the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Who do you?
Well, yeah,
have?
we're definitely getting back. I want scores. I want all this stuff. But before, because we started talking
We're
about the Rumble
talking
again,
soda.
were you okay with Cody
Oh.
being 30?
I want to trash Warren a little more. No,
We
what?
can-
No,
Were you okay with Cody being 30,
I was
or do you
fine
think that
with
was
it.
kind of a?
I thought it was a little bit too on the nose, to be honest with
Okay.
you. I thought it was. I actually thought he was going to be number 1 or number 2.
I thought he was going to be number
I
one.
thought he was gonna
That
go
was
the
my.
whole
I was like,
way.
he's going to be number 1 and just go the whole way.
F's
I mean, we
in the
knew he was
chat.
getting his entrance. We knew he was getting the
Warren's
entire.
like, don't be talking trash about me. But
Do we need? We'll send Warren the link. He'll come in. He'll yell. He'll
Shut up,
scream.
I'm fucking Junior.
Send him the link. Get him in here. Let's go.
No, we
he'll
don't.
say it. Send me the link.
Jeff Hawkins.
We'll just have them
Warren
just start
Hayes,
shouting at each other
Why
below,
do
like
they
after
hate
we give
each
our
other?
picks.
Yeah, we do this.
And we'll
Uh,
just
yeah.
sit there like,
No, but
let
all
him
right.
fight it out. Let
So
him
here's what we'll
fight it
do.
out.
So Jeff has already told us that he thinks the Eagles are going to win. So
Yeah.
we'll Pluggo. I'll go to you. Give me who you think's going to win, and give me a score, and then we'll go down to Jeff to get his score because we know he's leaning Eagles.
Yeah.
We'll get his score, and then I do want to talk about, like, in our last 15 minutes or so, or even however long it takes us, whatever. I do want to talk about favorite Super Bowl memories before we get out of here of past Super Bowls. As well, because my Patriots stink now, so I don't have anything to look forward to
Oh,
anymore.
Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Shut up.
Come
Shut
on.
Hey, look.
You've
at
had the most decorated
once you win,
franchise.
once
Oh,
you
I hate
win, you always want to win. All right, that's how it goes.
Oh, poor Boston Sports.
Oh,
They never
shut up.
win.
All right,
Oh
the
my
Bruins
God,
and the
you
Celtics
win
are going to win this year. We'll be
everything.
fine.
Get
We'll
out
be
of
fine.
my. Get out. of
Pluggo,
here.
give me who you think is going to win the Super Bowl, and give me a score.
This is tough, man. This is one of those games where, like I said earlier, I think everybody's heavy on the Chiefs. So, like, the Eagles winning wouldn't be a shock, but like, it's the Chiefs, man. It's Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. Do we think that this spot is too big for the Eagles, like Jalen Hurts? And
Well,
all that?
I okay.
Because like that's where I'm at. Like, is it? This game is gonna come down to Jalen, like how he performs
Mhm.
in such a
think
huge spot.
from-
So if he comes through, like I could see
From-
the Eagles running away with this thing, but scoring like 40 points.
from what I see from their coach, I think their coach has the right mentality. I like his mentality as a coach. However, the first time you get to a situation like this, the first time you get to a moment like this, sometimes you tighten up, you get a little too. There is at least a little bit to me of these guys have been here before. They know what it's like.
I think
they know how to
Kelsey's gonna win.
prepare. They know what the Super Bowl week in the media and everything leading up. They know how to compartmentalize all of it and schedule. I just feel like being there multiple times before might help. There's a little bit too helping prepare, understand what it's going to feel like before the game, the longer halftime, all this stuff. I do think there is something to that. I do. Does it mean that I think the Chiefs are solely going to win because of that? No. But I do think that is a factor. I do believe being there before and knowing what it takes to win a game like that.
I'm going to do it.
Matters.
I'm going to say Eagles 45, Chiefs 31.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's a high score, bro.
It is.
45,
Told you.
31.
I think there's-
What's the
I think-
over-under? Do we know the over-under?
I think there's going to be points.
And do we have a line yet? I think
I'm
it's the
just
Chiefs
saying,
1.5 or something like
Because
that.
if you get into this situation where these refs affect the Super Bowl based on what they've had happen in this playoffs, I think it's going to be just chaos. I don't
Eagles
think
1.5, over under 51.
Pluggo's got the Eagles almost hitting the over-under on themselves.
That's right, baby. I'm going to see some points scored. When it happens, come here next week when you're like, oh, shit, Pluggo's like Nostradamus. He knows his shit. But I do. I think that the refereeing in this playoffs has shown, like, they don't want that shit. They want points. They want point. They don't want it. What's been saying here?
Carl Cheffers is the crew. So
Big Ben is asking if the Sami Zayn slander's over. Jeff, are you done
I
slandering
wasn't
Sam?
slandering.
It wasn't
Sammy.
slandering. There was no slander.
I was
There was
slandering
no slander.
fans who wanted to make him champion. That's what I was slandering.
Yeah, I don't think there was any slander.
I think Sami Zayn deserves to be a champion at some point in his
He's
life.
a champion of your heart. There you
Correct.
go.
Correct.
I think Big Ben deserves to be the champion. Sign him WWE. Right now, he's the GOAT. He never tapped out to Ronda.
It's true. Sure. He did not tap out.
Yeah,
the
but he has
wrong
those criminal things going on. What? No, so- who would ever bring that up? Me. So who you got?
He's got Eagles 45-31.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going points, baby. High score.
I am not going that high on points. I do have the Chiefs, partly because I picked them to win the Super Bowl.
Nobody thought
I gotta
Georgia
ride it.
was
I
going
gotta
to
ride it.
65 to
I had the
7.
Chiefs beating the 49ers in the Super Bowl, so I got to ride it. I'm going to go Chiefs. I'm going to say Chiefs 24-20. That's what I'm going to do. I respect the Eagles defense to say, I respect the Chiefs defense. They're not giving up 45 fucking points. I mean, the Chiefs defense is not the greatest, but they're not giving up 45 points. And I don't think the Eagles will even come remotely close to giving up.
I
Said 24,
crazy.
so I guess
I think
31
you're
isn't
crazy.
remotely far away. But yeah, I'm going to go 24-20 Chiefs. I just think at the end of the day, Mahomes is going to need to make a few plays, and I think he's gonna. And
Okay.
yeah, has nothing to do with the Eagles or has nothing to do with
Who's
whatever. I
the-
just think at the end of the day, Mahomes is the dude. He's the best player. He's going to win the MVP tomorrow night. That's how I feel, and I think he's
You
going to
mean
win.
tonight, isn't it?
Is it tonight? Did they do it tonight? Did it already happen?
I think
Yeah,
it's
I think it's
Thursday.
tonight,
It's
but I
tonight.
don't
I think
care.
it's
Well, he's
right
going to
now.
win the MVP tonight. Then whatever. He's going to win the MVP.
I thought it was either tonight or tomorrow, but
I thought it
think
was
it's
tomorrow,
tonight.
but either way, he's going to win the MVP. And I think at the end of the day, quarterback is the most important position, and he is the guy. And I think he's going to make the plays he needs to do, and they're going to pull
I
through.
think you need to go further out on some limbs here. You're always so just like it's going to be. No, man, they're going to score a bunch of points. It's going to be.
But I like to be right, Pluggo.
I'm
That's
gonna
the
be
thing,
right,
is that
though.
thing.
I think it's
You
going to be,
could be.
close in the first half, but I think the Eagles break it open a little bit in the second half. I think they either find a way to shut Kelsey down, or Kelsey gets hurt in the second.
Well,
half.
that
Games
changes.
a lot.
That changes the game tremendously.
I mean, he
obviously.
was out for most of that second half of the Bengals too. I mean,
Mhm.
he's been having some back issues of late. But I again, like I said, I think the Chiefs score quick early, and then the Eagles drive it down, and then as they keep driving and driving, I think they wear down that defense. I think Mahomes makes
You think
at
he
least
throws
one
the ball
mistake
50
for a pick six or
you think
something
he
like
throws
that.
50 like Mahomes is throwing 50 times.
Oh, yeah.
You know
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. He's going to be down, so he's going to be thrown from
I
behind.
think they're going
so-
to try the run and they're going to fail, and he's going to start slinging it.
Donovan McNabb.
Pluggo saying he's sure that Donovan McNabb.
I'm
will
going to
pull
go
out a
with
win.
30-13 Eagles
Okay.
over Chiefs.
So that's a pretty handily.
I think they break it open late, but I think it's like tight. I think it's like
2017,
it's
20,
like
2013, 17, 13, or something like that.
2013 going into
Yeah.
like the fourth or something like that,
And then they just kinda pull away a bit.
and then they pull away a bit. I think Harrison Butker misses at least one field goal.
You hope.
Fair.
No,
All right.
he's not a good kicker.
He's not that great. I will. I'll be alone on the Chiefs. And again, I'm from an air.
I want to see my brother cry after spending thousands of dollars for a Super Bowl. That's
Well, there you
what I
go.
wanna see.
It's one of those things where like I'm from an area where I don't like either of these teams.
Yeah,
So
I'm starting to not like the Chiefs.
well, yeah, but I think that's your right. Moving forward, that's the team you guys are going to have to get through to get there.
Yeah, I
You know what I mean?
I know.
Well, we got. Oh, Big Ben is a Cowboys fan, I believe. So let me get my mouse over there. I hope the Eagles get fucking embarrassed, like the kind of embarrassed most men would feel pulling up beside Pluggo at a urinal. F the Eagles. So he's a Cowboys fan, so there's a little bias
Big
there.
Ben,
I'm assuming,
do you want the Eagles to get beaten down worse than you would beat down Mitch Clark?
Oh, all right. I see how you did that.
Yeah.
Well, see, Eagles and Cowboys can't coexist, so I get that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I think for you, Jeff, moving forward, I think that's the team you're gonna. It's Mahomes and Burrow. That's
and they have
rivalry.
they have a better front office. I mean, free agency is going to be very interesting for the Bengals this year.
Do you think? How do you? All right, and I think you should be positive about this. But how do you feel about your coach? You like your coach?
I have grown to like him.
I was
I was going to say I didn't believe in that guy, but I thought this.
I didn't believe him in here. But when he started showing fire towards the end of the season, especially with how they were getting treated with the tiebreakers and stuff like that, and watching him yell at the officials after they redid the third down thing, I'm like, no, and watching how the guys talk about him, like they talk about him not like a regular coach. They talk about him like this is the guy that I want to follow into battle.
Yeah,
and maybe I missed something here, but I'm like, okay, I can lose Brian Callahan, who I think is going to be the coach of the Indianapolis Colts. I think he's going to get that gig because Peyton is really cheerleading for him to get the gig.
Yeah.
But I think Zach Wilson, he has a toughness that I didn't see before. And it's one of those things where it's like, I just thought he was a dopey young guy who I'm happy to be here, but he has a certain grit to him that I'm starting to really like. He's like, I'm not here just to do a job. I'm here to win this fucking thing. I'm like, all right, I'm here. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I had to do a little research to back up my claims here. Last time the Eagles played in a Super Bowl in 2018, they scored 41 points against your New England Patriots, who everybody thought
a Super Bowl. No. Oh, the Eagles. Yeah, they beat us. Yeah.
It was 41-33. So the last time the Eagles were in, and everybody thought, here's
a prop bet. I guarantee Kansas City runs Philly special against Philly.
Oh, I hope so. That would be
look at that. That is the one Super Bowl looking back on it that.
But I'm just saying,
Patriots had no business losing that Super Bowl.
You're like, it's unheard of for my little prediction there. The Niners scored 55 on Denver. I looked this up because I wanted to know.
In the 80s?
Oh
yeah. That was the Steve.
The Bears scored 46-10. They beat the Patriots in Super Bowl 20.
most in history is the Niners at 55. Dallas put up 52 against Buffalo.
Yeah.
Again,
Bengals have lost 3 Super Bowls. That's all I know.
Seattle did the 43-8 thing against Denver.
The Denver Broncos.
So I'm not crazy, but I just don't
it can happen.
Don't sleep on the high scores,
especially when we say, "Oh man, what a great defense," and then it just becomes an offensive struggle, and you're just like, "What the hell is this?" I thought these teams were all defensive.
Yeah. We got Ben coming back. He goes, "I hope Hurts trips and twists his ankle. I hope their O-line gets diarrhea shits right at breakfast time. I hope their play caller gets a sore throat and can't speak. I hope their mascot gets hit in the head with a pop can. I hope the Chiefs won 134
Misspelled
to nothing."
The Chiefs, though. I think
F. The Eagles.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't expect Cowboy fans to like Eagles, but
no.
I'm bitter about the Bengals losing to the Chiefs. I'm rooting against them.
Yeah.
I just also too, like, in all seriousness though, you give an Andy Reid, like you said, who's been there, you give him time to prepare. I think you can figure out that offense, and then it just comes down to who can outshoot who. And if your Chiefs are down, like you're saying, Jeff, they're going to have to throw the ball. They'll probably get some quick scores, but it might be too little too late. So how about them?
Fellatio hand gestures on
People are
primetime
overrating
TV, huh?
Reid a little bit. Oh yeah.
Was that are we talking
The MJF,
MJF?
Yeah.
That whole segment from the fake blood to the car
Warren says,
story.
"I'm so happy I got to see Jeff do that." That's what Warren said.
Screen capture that quick.
We'll clip it out. We'll just be like,
that's
on
gonna be the
Sunday.
moment that we.
We'll tweet it on Sunday. Be like, "How's Jeff feeling about the Super Bowl tonight?" Whatever.
Oh look, Mahomes won again.
Oh, there it is. 1
Beauty.
minute 45 seconds.
Yeah,
1
no,
hour,
we're
40
good.
Minutes.
I just hope it's a good game. That's all. I mean, that's what I don't necessarily care or like either one of the teams. I just hope it's a good game.
I hope
hope
both get disqualified in the
that would be nice. That'd be all right with me. But I think
I truly do think that they're going to try. I think there's going to be a clear objective from the NFL, and I said it. I'm going to keep harping it to like let them play, because that whole playoff, the whole season has been these refs are shit. And that game, like the Eagles or the
and
Chiefs
last
game,
year's Super Bowl, the refs were
yeah,
shit.
the refs like let them play, swallow that whistle, which I think
Sure, now they're gonna do it.
right now, yeah, because we screwed the Bengals, but
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Like the idea here is like it's going to be a good game. It should be a good game, hopefully.
I actually think Jeffers is a pretty decent official. To be
It's the
honest with
Super Bowl, so it's going to be fun. Rihanna's performing.
I was gonna say Rihanna's got the halftime show.
Who does she bring out with her?
I know they haven't said anybody yet. I wonder if she's gonna do it solo or if she brings out.
She's got to bring out somebody. No offense.
They usually
to
do,
Rihanna,
but like a couple of years ago, The Weeknd didn't bring out anybody. He did his own thing.
That's because he was in that weird maze doing
I'm
this.
just
Like,
saying. I'm just saying.
how are you going to bring somebody out when you're like you can't figure out how to get
Listen,
to the stage? That's
I'll be
all.
happy to be watching it on TV as opposed to live.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, it's an
Well,
interesting concept. Like the halftime show to me, just you couldn't really hear it because of the acoustics in a stadium type thing. They weren't mic'd up well. The sound was bouncing all over the place.
Yeah.
So I heard it was awesome last year, but it really just felt like watching. It didn't come off well to me live, but
It looked cool. Like it was an interesting concept last year with the.
I'll make a prop bet. I think Rihanna brings out Janet Jackson.
Oh,
bring her back for a wardrobe malfunction.
No, not for a wardrobe malfunction, but just
they bring her back
a
to
make
redeem
good.
herself.
Yes, to
A
redeem
make good.
herself. Yes,
that'd be cool.
Well,
Yeah.
Janet Jackson is the reason you had that string of like halftime shows where
Oh, the
wasn't-
Who, Paul McCartney,
Yeah.
you had all the old
Yeah.
guys out there
because
they were like, we
playing
can't
it
have any,
safe.
we can't have any young, hip. Even though Janet wasn't young at the time, but we can't have any of these young teeny bopper hip hop. We can't.
Yeah,
do
And then
that.
they
No.
realized,
Boomer
oh,
people.
screw that. They were like,
Yeah, and then they were like, wait a minute, nobody cares about the halftime show because
Yeah,
everyone
now
performing
we have
is
to get
80.
the theatrical acts like
Yeah,
the Weeknd.
let's get
and
everybody,
Lady
whatever,
Gaga.
Lady Gaga and all that stuff.
You know, she jumped off of the.
She did.
That was actually a pretty good halftime.
It was, and I thought
was.
Bruno Mars had a good one a few years back.
With
I
the
thought,
band. The
yeah,
band was great.
yeah. I look. It is what it is. The Super Bowl
What are
halftime
y'all
show.
eating this weekend?
I
You
am
eat?
getting. Oh boy.
I went-
Yeah. What are you doing? You got wings? How
Like,
you doing?
so this is like.
What's
so,
the go-to football? What's the go-to Super Bowl food? Like Super Bowl.
Like I love wings. I might make like a dip, like a queso dip.
I'm a
or
big nachos
something.
guy. Huge nachos guy.
pizza.
Big nachos guy here.
Dude,
So.
like pull the curtain back. Like last year, we were throwing like a Super Bowl party for a bunch of like, and we had like some cancellations, weather or something. I can't remember what it was, but like, so we ended up with so much food, and
That's good. Food for the next week.
Exactly.
Don't gotta worry
I
about
actually
lunches.
I took like a bunch of pizzas to work, so like
Yeah.
we went all out. This year, we're gonna keep it very tight, very small setting. So I might just make some wings, do maybe a pizza. I don't know yet.
I'm on a diet, so I'm probably low carb it again. But if
Fair.
I decide to break my diet of a few weeks, I want to make a taco pizza
Nice.
Ooh, there you
because
go.
I've been having a
Sounds good.
hankering for that. It's mostly a Midwest thing, and I'm not from the Midwest, but
Yeah.
it's just one of those things
Taco
where it's just like
pizza's
I haven't had
big.
a taco pizza in a long time.
No, I've
That
been having
sounds-
that. You know what I saw on the internet the other day? Somebody sent this to me, like
Or a Stromboli.
a
Oh,
a,
Stromboli. Yeah, that would do.
a Reuben style pizza. I
Yeah.
have to
Reuben's.
find it. That sounds
I love
phenomenal.
Reuben's.
No, I saw one of those. Buffalo has a place that makes those. They have one of those and a beef on weck that I thought was an interesting type of pizza. Like the weck is the crust and stuff like that. And
Really?
Yeah. It was this gourmet place in Buffalo.
Yeah,
that
that's
would
what I'm
make that.
talking about.
That sounds right
Food.
up my
That's
alley.
all
Yeah.
I care about. Food.
No, I'm a
is.
big nacho guy. And nachos are a strong call always.
Oh,
Is that
always.
what is that what the 4 F's that Warren sent earlier? Food,
especially-
football, fun,
Yeah.
feasting,
And fornicating, yeah.
Yeah.
communicating.
No, see, okay, but you have to get like the golden cheese sauce
really-
type stuff for your nachos. None of this
Fromage.
real cheese in the oven type thing. You gotta get the Velveeta.
Yeah, I made
slop
a
or
with
Oh,
Velveeta,
yeah.
the brick in the crock pot. I made like a
Oh, yeah.
queso. I
Oh,
made
yeah.
like
Yeah, like a queso
that-
type. You put a jar of
Which-
salsa around the
which- no.
Velveeta brick, and you just
Blech. Pass.
wait. You don't like salsa?
Not really. I don't like tomatoes, so I kind of dabble. But like I did it with chorizo. I made like a queso
Chorizo's a
dip with
strong call.
chorizo.
Yeah, chorizo strong.
It was good. So
We have.
But
We,
yeah,
there's a place not far from me. It's called the Egg Roll Cafe. Okay, they make egg rolls. Clearly,
What?
their name is the Egg Roll Cafe.
what if they
However,
did? That'd be
they
awesome.
make all different kinds of egg rolls. They have pizza egg rolls. They have steak and cheese egg rolls. They have spinach and feta. They got broccoli and cheddar. They have regular, normal, as you would get at a Chinese restaurant egg rolls. They have all different types of egg rolls. And they offer platters where you just get a fuck ton of egg rolls for like $15 a pop. They're probably 40 now because capitalism and whatever. But back in the day, they used to be $15 a pop. So when I was having a get together, I would order like 2 or 3 different things, and that's one of the. So I think I'm going to go to Egg Roll Cafe,
Well, there
and
goes
then I'm going
our
to make
Egg
some
Roll
homemade
Cafe
dominant nachos. I
sponsorship.
think that's what I'm doing.
But
Yeah,
a place
sponsor
called
us.
In-N-Out. That's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, great. Real good.
We don't
Real
have
good.
In-N-Out over here.
No, you don't.
No, I've never been. I've never
Never
had
been
an
either.
In-N-Out over here in the East Coast. Never.
So I gotta
in my
think of a
life.
way to break my carb fast. So
Mm,
it might
fair.
be nachos and
Oh,
In-N-Out.
sorry.
Or pizza. I don't know what
Nachos
to-
are so. Today is actually National Pizza Day.
I
So-
hate Super Bowl parties in Los Angeles, though.
Oh,
cannot
is it
stand
early? The game's early for you.
Well, no,
right?
the
What's it?
game's early, but
3:30
at
or
least
whatever?
amongst my friends and stuff, it used to be one of those things where you go and it's a bunch of actors and stuff. So you get a bunch of people doing the sports ball type of thing.
Oh, that's my-
Yay,
my least-
sports
or
ball.
or the thing that would annoy me is the ads would come on, and this was the important part for the actors and stuff.
Of course.
There'd always be somebody who went out for that ad
Yeah.
that were
Yeah.
bitter they didn't book it or something like that.
They
I'm just
didn't
like,
pick
I
me.
can't deal with this shit anymore, guys.
This shitty booking. I'm in catering.
It's my favorite thing.
And,
Like,
and, it's like, hey, I don't come and heckle your Oscar party. Don't come and heckle my Super Bowl.
yeah, fair. That's fair. One of my least favorite things is at the shoot job. I'm one of the only sports fans. And every
they
time
like the gambling, but they don't like the actual sport.
the only time I ever talk about sports or I bring it up, that's what they say. Oh, the sport, you talking sports ball? And I'm like, how about I throw you through that fucking window right there? You want to
Yeah.
talk? You want to be a
Yeah.
smart ass?
I'm the same way.
You got nothing to say? Shut up in the corner. How about you sit over there? All right. When we talk about fucking anime, we'll bring you in here. All right, sit over there.
Anime.
Anyway, and that's nothing against anime. Anime rules, but you know what I mean. Like,
Oh no, I got
pipe
that.
down, pipe down in the corner. You don't watch sports? Good for you. All right, we'll just sit down.
My favorites are the Super Bowl party when you go and you're hanging out with a bunch of people and like you're watching the game and you're focused. And then there's always those 2 guys that are talking about sports, but like are just blatantly wrong about what they're talking about.
But they
And I
think
just-
they know everything.
Right. They're like, yeah, Joe Montana. He played for the Cowboys once. And the other guy's like, oh, hell yeah, dude. And
Yeah,
you're
dude.
sitting there going
Oh.
like, I want to say something, but I also know that you could probably kick my ass. I'm gonna let you have
Yeah,
your
it's like,
moment.
you know what? I don't want to cause a problem at this party, but
It's not
like
my
you're a
house.
moron, and I really want to tell you you're a moron.
You
Like,
know,
you don't,
like-
you don't know what you think you know, bro.
You know,
You don't know what you think you know.
Well, I don't
Um,
overplay this, but I also, I did a year in a Division I school of football as a walk-on, and so I listed people who've never played it down in their lives, doing strategy and stuff like that. I'm like, you're an idiot. Shut up.
Yeah,
I
like,
don't want to say that either.
Yeah.
Or the tough bro guy that's like, I wouldn't have missed that block.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's that, but it's like, well, why are they playing this instead of this. They're stupid. It's like I could tell you why. Right.
I would have made that pass. Why didn't Mahomes throw that?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that, but there's also just a little bit of not knowing what
Those
each
are my
position
favorite.
does type of thing. Like, hey, well, we just dropped the safety down here and because you'd leave that part of the field open and they'd be killing
they would
you
hit
at
it
it
every time and you'd
These
get
guys
murdered,
are
and that's how that goes.
professionals.
I also think, and this is speaking as someone who is a Madden player, I also think that like people who play Madden think that they know, like, oh well, I'm really good at Madden, so like I could definitely be a coach.
We're just gonna do the deep post every
No,
time.
no, you could. No, you could not. Like that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Hey, I won the Super Bowl with your New York Jets, so I'm pretty good at
How
Madden.
would you pick the Jets for?
I randomed
Just for
and I built them with Justin Fields at quarterback.
Would you trade for him?
Oh yeah, I got rid of Zach Wilson's ass.
I would think. I would think.
Did he bang your mom too? What?
I was like, listen here, get out, Mama Pluggo. We don't want that around here.
Yeah. All right. Before we get out of here, obviously, I know your Bengals have been to 3 Super Bowls.
Yes.
They are unfortunately
0-3.
0-3.
Yes.
But pick your, 1 or 2 favorite Super Bowl moments.
What?
I don't know if any of the Bengals ones will make the top 2.
Oh no! Stanley Wilson got caught doing cocaine the night before the Super Bowl. A star running back. That was always fun. In '89, I think that was. No, but like that.
Or
that
best
80,
games, 1 or 2 best games.
That
You think?
'89 Super Bowl, I loved that one because Stanford Jennings ran the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. I thought, okay, here come the Bengals, and then Tim Krumrie broke his leg in a very graphic way. I actually really enjoyed the Arizona Steelers Super Bowl in 2008. I think it was 2009. It was 2009.
Oh yes, with the one Harrison had the long interception.
Yeah,
right
I was really rooting for the Cardinals in that one because I actually think if I want a quarterback in the Super Bowl, if I can't have Brady, it would be Kurt Warner. To be honest with you, Kurt Warner.
Even though, I mean, what is he?
I loved the Greatest Show on Turf. I thought those were some fun teams to watch in a Super Bowl. I
actually thought one of the first Super Bowls I can remember like loving when I was a kid wasn't involved in my Patriots. It was the Titans and that Rams team.
Okay, yeah.
Where that McNair drove them down and they were a yard away.
Yeah,
and they Dyson stretched it out and it was like, oh my god! I actually thought that was
God, I'm old.
That was one of the early Super Bowls because when I was like a youngster first watching it was the Bills and Cowboys. And the Cowboys of the early '90s.
And before that,
was a Titans fan.
When I was a kid, it was like all the Montana Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And then Elway got a couple, and I couldn't stand.
Well, Elway was kind of right in my wheelhouse. The Elway, because Favre and the Packers beat us in '96. That was the first time the Patriots were ever good in my lifetime.
Right.
They beat us. We had the lead at fucking halftime at that game too, but. Damn it.
They were better
than us. They were better than us.
I thought there was no way that the Falcons could blow that one.
Oh, the 28. I mean, come on. Now you're in my wheelhouse. Here's my thing. Besides that first Super Bowl with the Packers, every Super Bowl that the Patriots have been in, with the exception of the last one with the Rams, they were some of the best games that ever.
Giants Patriots, I loved. Sorry,
I did not.
I know you did, but I don't. I kind of like the obnoxiousness of the 72 Dolphins, and I didn't want that Patriots team to be that obnoxious because I hated Harrison and PED cheat and Teddy Bruschi and all those guys.
What Teddy Bruschi do to you?
My
favorite thing is Teddy Bruschi. Teddy Bruschi came back from a stroke.
Yeah,
and he won comeback player of the year with Steve Smith, who had a broken leg the year before. Came back from a stroke. Co-MVP. Get out of here.
Back when one of the conferences was more dominant in either way, I'd always try and talk myself into the other team winning. Like I remember the I think it was the Denver Atlanta Super Bowl where Dan Reeves was coaching. It was the Dirty
the Dirty Bird.
I thought Atlanta had a shot here.
Jamal Anderson.
Yeah. Atlanta. They got ran out.
They beat the 15-1 Vikings, right? They beat the 50 because Norm was that old kicker. Norm missed that kick, and Norm Anderson for the Falcons hit the kick to bring him to the Super Bowl. But who was the single bar Vikings kicker? Gary Anderson. He choked. He missed one. And the Vikings were 15-1
Ball was cold
that
day
year.
too,
like
kids. That was a rock.
Shit, man.
He had to kick. Yeah.
I remember that Super Bowl. I remember very fondly the 28-3. I actually think the best Super Bowl the Patriots were ever a part of was the Seahawks game in
The one they won or the
2016.
one they lost. Oh,
Yeah,
Seahawks
that-
didn't.
No,
Seahawks
the
didn't beat them. The Seahawks
No,
beat
Russell
the-
Wilson threw the pick at the goal. I actually
Yeah,
think
no.
from a game perspective,
No, I was trying to remember who the Seahawks beat for their Super Bowl.
Denver.
Denver. They smoked
Denver?
They
them
killed
43 to
Peyton
8.
43 to
Oh,
8.
that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
they killed Peyton.
That first snap that went over his head.
Yeah,
it
he
was
went
just
over
like,
his head.
oh.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh shit. They
The
beat
Saints win, I
crap.
remember being
The
fun.
Saints win against Peyton and the Colts was very good. That pick six, Tracy Porter was his name. That
I mean,
pick
the
six
most
was
dominant
huge.
one. I actually, I was 13 at the time, but the Bears over the Patriots.
Oh,
that
slaughter.
86 defense,
Slaughter.
which was for real.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when you just seeing refrigerator Perry in the backfield,
Yeah, rushing.
and you're just like,
Well,
now
they
they're
said Mike Ditka had always said his biggest regret was not giving Walter Payton a touchdown in that Super Bowl. That was one of his biggest regrets because he put Fridge in there and gave it to Fridge, and he was like, obviously he was saying this after Walter had got sick and passed and all that stuff.
team,
But
That
unbelievable.
that
They
Bears
should have
team
went
was
undefeated, really.
fun. I mean,
They should've
you had the Buddy Ryan defense. You have Jim McMahon at quarterback.
Yeah.
That
They
was
did
really
the
the
Super Bowl
first
shuffle
Super
that
Bowl
year.
Shuffle.
Yeah.
Peyton.
Yeah.
I mean, Mongo was on that team. I
Mhm.
mean, that team was. that
You
team
mean
was-
wrestling legend
Singletary
Steve
was on that
Mongo
team.
McMichael?
Oh yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of like other.
I
The
guess
one that
it-
you mentioned with the Steelers and the Cardinals, that last. Everyone talks about the Santonio, and again, I don't like the Steelers at all.
No.
Everyone talks about the Santonio Holmes catch. I was always someone that thought it was a better throw than it was a catch.
Yes.
They're both excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent catch, excellent throw. Roethlisberger literally threw that like inches over the fingertips of three separate defenders
I mean, if
directly in the corner where literally Santonio Holmes could only catch it on his tippy.
if you want moments that haunt me forever, Benny Blades dropping an easy interception before Montana threw it to Taylor in the second Bengals, and then of course the last play of the Bengals Rams Super Bowl where Jalen Ramsey had fallen down and Jamar Chase was wide open, and all he needed was half a second to get that ball out, and I'm just like, damn it! But I did like the opening play of the second half there where they got him alone. Even though they were like, that looked like a false start. Oh, they're all complaining about it. He just threw the ball down there, got the touchdown. And I thought we might actually win one. That was nice.
Pluggo, any other favorite
I don't
Super
have
Bowl
any
moments?
fond memories of Super Bowl in the sense that like I don't ever have a team that's in it.
The Bills losing 4 in a row. That was fun.
The Bills losing for, but I mean, for me, it's just always comes down to good games, and I like, you know,
All right,
I liked the Seahawks.
I like good games until my team's
Eagles
involved, and then I want to
game,
blow
they-
out on my end.
I was a big fan of that Donovan McNabb, Terrell Owens Super Bowl Eagles team that did.
That was fun.
That was a fun time.
who
I'm
did those
always
two?
in. Who was it? Oh
Who
my
was that
gosh,
team?
I'm blanking.
Yeah, I think it
Wasn't
was Tom
that the
Brady.
Patriot?
I
Yeah, you
think
know,
so, yeah.
I was a huge fan
Thought
of
so.
that. I was.
That was
always-
actually the most boring Super Bowl of all of them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I always just root for good games. I never.
Yeah,
like,
I
'cause
agree.
again, I don't have a dog in the fight, so that's.
I
why
root for
said-
well officiated games.
well
Yeah,
officiated
that matters
games.
too.
I
I
hate
root
to
for the
see.
food. Damn it!
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the
Brian
earliest-
Daboll was just named the NFL Coach of the Year.
I'm trying to think of the name.
Brian
That's an
Daboll.
interesting choice.
Yep,
I mean, because
I
he
just got that
did well. He
ESPN.
did well early, and then he struggled a bit later, and then they turned.
These
it
are
around.
regular seasons awards, right? They don't.
Yeah,
They don't
Yeah,
vote for this stuff because obviously
vote
they
after
won the
last-
playoff game
Yeah,
too,
they vote
which is
after
a
the
big
last
deal.
game of the season.
Yeah. So, all right. So before we plug our stuff real
I would have
quick,
given it to the Eagles coach.
yeah, I would think they like I said, have
Sirianni.
been the best team literally all year.
Yeah.
All right, best Super Bowl halftime show of your life, Jeff, that you think? What was your favorite Super Bowl halftime show?
I'm going with Prince.
Yeah, it was a good one. That was a good one.
In the Rain.
Yeah.
How are you not going for Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake?
Well, because we weren't all 13-year-old pervs like
I was
you,
older at
Pluggo.
the time.
Jeez Louise.
Remember, I'm much older than you guys, so it's one of those things. Where it's
I
like-
think Warren is agreeing. Prince, no question. Prince,
Yeah.
no question.
Prince was dope. Prince was dope.
I did like
But-
the Gaga one though. I thought that
I
one
did
was
too.
solid.
I
And
like
Bruno
Lady
Mars-
Gaga.
Bruno Mars
I
was
like
good.
Bruno Mars. I
Hit all
thought
the
last
feels.
year's. I know last year's was really good too.
all the feels.
I
I've
think
yet to watch
Prince.
that.
I think Prince probably is the good the good choice. And I'm not picking this one. I'm picking this one for two reasons. Not because I like the band, because they're fine, but I don't. But
Up with people.
2001, the U2 with the names of the people from 9/11, and just obviously the Patriots were involved, so that's like a different meaning for me as well. But that one with that performance, that was the year that U2 kind of came back with the music in the public eye, and just the honoring of the names with 9/11, and just obviously that's a very special Super Bowl for me. That's the first time a sports team from where I lived won anything. So, but that one obviously holds a special place in my heart. I thought that was really well done.
I'm looking at a list
he opened
of
his
halftime
jacket
shows
and he
and
had the American flag in it and stuff. Michael Jackson, it was a little before my time, but Michael Jackson had a real good one in the early 90s.
I didn't realize how late we got into the 90s before we started having good halftime shows.
Did Justin Timberlake do one after?
Yes.
Yeah,
Timberlake did one. Yeah,
that was pretty solid.
He came
if
back.
I remember
He
right.
came
Yeah,
back.
he came back, and that was like, I think everybody was like, "Is in sync? Is he going to
Yeah.
do spins?" Yeah, I remember that one. That was pretty good.
I remember
Beyonce-
the weirdest one was the 97 one here, because I'm looking at this, the Blues Brothers.
Really?
when they of Aykroyd and Goodman and Jim Belushi.
Oh, when they were coming back with the movies again?
Yeah.
Really? They were the halftime show?
In Louisiana Superdome. Blues Brothers Bash.
Best halftime show of all time is Rock vs. Mankind. Empty arena.
Oh yeah, empty arena match.
I kind of
baby.
miss the
Let's go.
counter programming.
I miss halftime heat. I watch that shit every year.
Oh,
They
yeah.
did that for
there
those
was-
few years.
Or the Beavis and
Halftime
Butthead
Heat.
ones.
The Beavis
Yeah,
and
Beavis and
I was gonna
Butthead did
say,
ones. That was
yeah.
very cool too.
Yeah, good halftime shows really didn't start. I mean, you can count 99, but maybe 2000, so it's only been about 20 years.
Mm.
Because before it was like I'm looking at the ones from like when I was 15, 16, or like even 91. It's like, salute to It's a Small World. It's like, that sounds
That's
lame to
weird.
me.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
That's awesome.
But I would say Prince is a really good one. U2, Beyonce, friggin' Turn the Power Off.
A lot of
She-
people like the
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce
one. I think that's
Springsteen, yeah.
overrated.
Yeah, and then who else? They had The Who was one of them.
Madonna. I forgot about the
Madonna.
Madonna one.
I think
That was-
Timberlake came back and did something with. What was he involved with? Timberlake did come back and
Yeah,
was
he
like
did
a
one with
guest.
either Beyonce or something like that.
Yeah, I
think.
agree, Warren. The Who, not good. That was not.
Oh
a
no,
good
he
one.
did his own.
Timberlake did his own.
Yeah,
He did his own in 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, not too long. I was gonna say, I remember.
Wow.
Because like you have to
More coming in
understand, like
hot.
these Super Bowl halftime shows, a
Warren
lot of
probably
my
liked Maroon
interest is
5 or
gauged
something.
on how excited Mrs. Pluggo gets for the halftime shows.
Yeah.
And that one was like, that was her. She was like crying and dancing.
Katy Perry's was weird. I remember.
Katy
that one.
Perry's had the shark, the left
Yeah,
shark.
the
left
shark.
shark.
That shark got famous. That left shark.
Yeah,
Fuck
wow.
off, Hawkins. Jesus
Well,
Christ.
that's the Warren Hayes.
Warren. Not
He's
a
offended
Maroon
that you
5
said he liked
fan.
Maroon 5.
I know,
I would be
sorry.
too. I would be
That's
too.
it. One
Yeah,
of these,
that-
one of these nights,
no.
we're booking
We're gonna have to have a
Hawkins.
face-off.
Justified.
We're
He
gonna
was
have a face-off.
justified in. He was
Yeah.
justified in his.
We're gonna have to have a
strong language on
face
that
off.
one.
It's gonna have to be Jeff.
We haven't
versus
had
Warren.
a
No,
face-off.
let me offer my public apology for accusing Warren of being a big Maroon 5 fan. Because
When he
I
took-
just
when he-
assumed,
when he
he
took that
watched The
shirt off.
Voice for Adam Levine. I thought, This Love was really heavy on his playlist.
This love has Sorry, what? Sorry, I was getting lost
They're
in the
so
Levine.
lame. I fucking hate Maroon 5 so
Oh,
much.
boy,
That first album was fine.
That-
Relax.
that was going so well. He says it was going so well. Oh, anyway. All right. What a way to end.
I'm putting
What
on
a
the
way to
internet
end.
that Warren loves Maroon 5.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Read it.
Oh no. All right. Jeff,
have confirmed.
thanks for joining.
No problem.
You're welcome anytime. Oh no. Warren is not happy.
brother.
He's not happy. Oh no. Let the people know where they can find you.
Former Shakes and Ropes guest Warren Taylor. I'll pull
yeah,
up
there
my
you go.
show through him.
Let the people know what. Yeah.
I am at Crap Game 13, mostly doing snarky, dumb, arcane references and talking about how I like 80s wrestling. I do a show on Voices of Wrestling called Shake Them Ropes. Get a little snarky there. This week we'll be talking probably Oh God, what are we going to talk about this week? Maybe a little Jerry Lawler. Maybe a little.
yeah.
Maybe a little, and just how the angles are going. We'll talk about Cody a little bit, et cetera, et cetera. Since we've kind of been through 2 pay-per-views, so it's just kind of like, okay, whatever happens in the next day and a half, we'll do that. Find that on all your podcasters. I also do a show called The Dynamite Show on the Fight Game Media Network. I'm going to plug this. We might have a special guest this week.
Oh.
Patreon.com/FightGameMedia. If you like tag team wrestling, you might want to check out next week's show. I can't promise that we're going to get these guests, but we might. And if you know my love for stupidity, you'll know who I'm talking about. And then occasionally I'm on Fightful. I'm on the bench.
You have Warren Hayes coming on your show.
No, I've had Warren Hayes on the show.
Just,
and I
there we go.
owe him one now.
Just fueling the
Lawrence,
fire.
I can't believe you're getting Dennis.
I would love
Condrey.
Dennis Condrey. I want to talk to Dennis Condrey about how he left NWA twice at the peak of the Midnight Express's run.
He says, "I know you would. I know. You would."
But
we got to make this
Turbo
happen.
Floyd or Turbo Truth
Is
Magnum.
that who you're hoping
Turbo
for?
Floyd?
You're hoping for
Possibly.
the Outrunners?
Possibly.
That'd be awesome.
Well,
That'd be awesome.
make it happen, Outrunners.
Yeah. Pluggo, let the people know where they can find us in between 2 beards. Let the people know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at Pluggo _ on all the social medias. Just search Pluggo. You'll see this face. You can find Between 2 Beards at B2Beards on all social media. Stay tuned. You never know when we'll pop up, what we may be doing. Sounds like we've got to settle this beef here one of these weeks on Thursday. So hopefully we can get these 2 in a room and sort it out.
I'm not getting in a room with that dirty Canadian. Like,
Wow.
This is
Oh, Geno Smith was just named the comeback player of the year.
my friend Geno Smith.
Yeah.
But yep, that's where
Quote
you
John
find
Gruden.
us.
All right. You can find me at JPJ Loves Gaming on the Twitter and the Twitch machine. You can find me here every Thursday at 10 a.m. in the mornings talking all things AEW with Firmly AEW with our friend Drew Nicholas. You can find me here every Thursday night, 8 p.m. doing the Beards thing with my boy Pluggo right here. And we always have our friends and our guests popping in, whether it be Warren, Jeff.
I may not be a friend anymore. After
No, with, I don't know about your friendship with Warren now, but with us, you're still a friend, man.
Hey,
Warren and I
both of
will,
your
have makeup sex and get it over with.
There it is.
Both of your guys' Spencer Love checks cash.
No.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure
Oh, yeah.
money. It's like CM Punk and the Elite. We'll figure this shit out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, you can find me here on Thursdays. Give us a follow here. Give us a subscribe here at Love Wrestling. We appreciate all the love. Warren's per usual. I think that's to the makeup sex, to be honest with you.
While listening
Yeah.
to Maroon 5.
Absolutely. It's the only way
yeah.
Warren does it, I've heard. So, it's just, it is what it is. Yeah.
One more night by Maroon 5.
Is it one? I don't even know that one.
And we'll
What is
make
one more?
Sweet Love by
He's
Fire.
like, one more night.
No. That's Phil Collins. That's
Yeah.
That is not Phil. He's like, want to be with you. One more night.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to end the show,
Yeah, I was
everybody.
gonna
That's
say,
how we're going to
you
get out of here.
should've just been-
Appreciate y'all. We're getting out of here.
Thank
Jeff,
you.
always a pleasure. We will see everybody next week. And until then,
I kill shows.
peace out.
Look